Greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, and here to share some time today as a fellow human living this extraordinary life that we've been given here on Earth at this time. Hoping to offer some peace and perspectives on fulfillment. You know, the thumbnail today, it was almost a second choice, but I've already dropped the link for those who do want to join. But that was kind of an alternative today. Open panel, doubt it. Hey, brothers and sisters, those of you who are still subscribed, and you know what? Regardless, even if you chose to part ways and you're hearing my words, God bless you. Thank you to all of you who are part of this bizarre and strange adventure of life. See, I'm trying to offer what I found to be helpful and valuable for me, just as as an ordinary guy. The concept and the idea of bringing more peace into my life. Man, when I started remembering there was alternatives to my disagreements, to my conflicts, when I started remembering that, I've started feeling better. Now, my results in the world are what they are, but each day is new. To find peace in this life we are living, you've got to become it is helpful to become comfortable with change, allowing yourself to be adaptive, to be able to, maybe figure out new things. Allow yourself to be comfortable in the unknown, in the new. It's logic and reasoning, and it really makes sense. It feels good to feel good. And that's what I'm really suggesting to you, is find peace within you, however you are. I mean, if you've got a real chaotic schedule, you're running from one task to another, one commitment to the next, recognize those are your choices. Those are things you agreed to. Maybe those are commitments and honorable commitments. Life does bring us times where we get stretched pretty thin, maybe to see what we're made of. But peace is that eternal, it's a bliss. Peace is the absence of resistance, the absence of conflict. It is just the state of being. And you can be whatever you want to be. What we are, brothers and sisters, the creator, the ultimate one, the one that creates all that is, that one, all that is of nature. The creator created us. We are creators, created to create our own lives, co-create our lives. We're here to co-create the lives of our dreams. And I believe what I've been learning, the universal laws that we live within that regulate the order of everything. There's universal laws of exchange, okay? And I truly believe the universal laws of exchange, the universal laws of creation that formed us and that move us, they're here to serve us. But the universe doesn't understand the word don't. right? The universe operates off of and through our consciousness. And so as we go through our day, the universe is here to reveal that which we want, our heart desires. And our heart desires is guided by a greater spirit, a soul, perhaps. But when we create these habits in our mind, and it's real easy to do, to create these looping patterns of instruction that go over and over inside your mind. If you hear a lot of limits, recognize that's self-created limits. And shoot, there was something I was going to get out with that. We get in these habits of, I don't want this, I don't like that, right? And the universe doesn't understand, don't. And so well, I'm going to jump ahead here. We'll come back to fulfillment, but the elixir of this realm we live in, the elixir that brings the desires and the intentions together, is gratitude. And I was thinking about this. Resentment is the inversion of gratitude. So when you're saying, I don't want, you're creating this resistance within you. The universe says, oh, that's what you want. So be careful within your mind, within your day. Pay attention. What are the words coming out of your mouth? What are the things that you are saying? Does what you're saying reflect what you are doing? These lives as a human, I'm serious. I used to be a very confused man. I admit my sins, my mistakes, my foolishness pretty openly. I've made a lot of mistakes in the past, but where I'm at right now, the love of God is constantly in my mind, the perfection of God, the intelligence of God. I'm filled with wonder at what God might reveal for us, through us, with us all, especially me, of course. I worry about my own life, not worry, I wonder about my own life. But I really wonder about the bigger picture most of all. What might God allow us to accomplish if the veils of confusion are lifted? When people are finally humbled to their ignorance, right? So we won't have all these people walking around like they know it all, like they're in charge. These people in government, in policy making positions, whatever, policy enforcing positions. There's a thought I had earlier, something about when the time of judgment comes, when the time of judgment arrives, what might that be like? We could help the time of judgment be smoother amongst us if we start disclosing the truth. People start admitting individually, hey, I screwed up, I may have harmed you. I'm sorry for that. If that can be genuine within you. I mean, if the world around us, if more people started recognizing, accepting responsibility, and becoming authentic. And here's another thought I had. You know what? I don't like the idea of gossiping. I'm clear about that, but this is my life. And in response to the other young man, weakness and strength, the road, you can't make a weak man strong by making a strong man weak. I know many people like to come up in my life and test me and test themselves, and I find it fascinating. There was a reason I brought him up, and I can't remember why. I have not been paying attention to the chat. Bless all of you. Seriously, thank you to all those who have stopped by, are stopping by. What is this? Judgment occurs every day. People's souls get pulled and judged every day. We're not waiting. Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. That was the point I meant to get to as well, is the time of judgment is now. The self-judgment, the self-realization, moving past being self-centered and becoming part of a greater self, becoming one with the greater experience that is. That's right. The reason I brought up the weak and strong and the comparison. Shoot, now it escaped me again. Pride and arrogance. Pride and arrogance keeps us confused. Where I'm at today, peace and fulfillment. Let's get to the other part of this. Sorry, there was another thought I had. There was a reason I brought that up. Can't remember. Should I remember? I'll share. Hey, I do love all you guys as well. This life we're living, it's real easy to get caught up in all sorts of fantasies. Admittedly, I saw it as just something to recognize the 1500. It's not a huge achievement, and admittedly, I don't know how exactly the subscriber count raised, so I've seen some of the chatter and nonsense about me. What happened, though, is people revealed themselves, in my opinion. There was public organization to encourage others to part ways from me, to stop showing support. So I'm glad. Whoops. Hey, I'm glad to see you're here. How you doing today, brother? Welcome back.
When you kept me smaller, I thought maybe you were getting into your ego, Jack.
No. Hey, I'm going to turn you up just a little bit.
I wonder why I was turned down.
No, it's
But
actually...
this isn't the last channel I visited, Jack. Don't worry. But you were present at the last one I was in, weren't you?
Was I?
Yeah. It was that Zeta fellow.
Oh,
The
yeah.
the only beta you can spell with a Z.
I like the Z guy, man. He's got a cool energy to him. I find him entertaining.
I agree. But the difference between me and a lot of people is you pick things like that to like, and I pick the able words. Would you say Zeta is living able words?
Living able?
The able words. Response able. And I got to figure out how to get integrity in there. Is integritable a word?
Integrable? I don't know. I don't think so. I think we're pushing that. I think I think the Z character is pretty honorable and respectable. He's we all have our flaws. We've all made our mistakes. He's said some things, and he shares some things I don't necessarily agree with, but I sure see his
So
intentions pretty good.
I'll agree with you for some of that where I respect that he does his stuff live and it gets posted and stays there. Um, but I'll remind you, Jack, just not probably hasn't been a month since me and London Boy went to bat for him over a common enemy. And it seems like all that's out the window already, just as that very day when it was all said and done, he still crawled back over there and let that guy treat him like his daddy.
Don't here. I saw him differently. I saw it as almost, and maybe it was a last effort of, hey, is peace available? But he was definitely disrespected again. If we're talking about the same instance, which I think we
Yeah.
are, but
Hmm.
um, you know, I've learned a lot about human behavior, the patterns of uh, the egotists. The term narcissist is thrown around, and the term ego is thrown around a lot. But
I only got to stop you right there to point out that it is 4:44 right now for the Smiths out there. When I clicked on this link, it was 440, which is the frequency of destruction, as the number 4 is the number of destruction. I will acknowledge the campaign to your D subbing, just as I have lost a single sub. But I'm going to say right now, I'm 2 subs away from 250. And at 250, we're dropping the police raid trailer, which initiates Tommy and the LARPers of the Panelverse series. It's the most epic thing this community will see in its lifetime. I promise you that.
I am excited to hear that.
Oh,
And
don't be, because a lot of people shouldn't be. Remember that rant I went on whenever you dropped out and I had your channel for a moment? I said, oh my God, does Tommy have control? Does Tommy have control of Jack's panel? Oh my God, does he own the panelverse? Oh, if this CNN ticker ever says Tommy's in charge, there's going to be a lot of boots shaking that day. Went something like that. Remember that?
I'm not sure. But here
All
today,
right, two
I
subs and
just
counting. See you soon.
hey, I just dropped Tommy's link in the chat. Please drop him a couple more if you've not yet. Investigate his work, drop a subscription. It sounds like he's got some works in the creation. And I'm all about encouraging and inspiring others. So I didn't quite follow what he was saying, but praise God. Seriously, praise God. The prayer I find myself saying most often, and perhaps it could be the most rewarding prayer, is the prayer of gratitude, right? Job well done, God. Holy cows, I see your glory of today through what you've revealed in my life. Thank you. See, and to the topic of peace and fulfillment, the recognition that as human beings, we have so many gifts, so many attributes, so much undiscovered, unrealized potential within each of us. So, what I found helpful though is to allow the human part, the worldly part, politics, economics, gossip, social behavior, blah, 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 allow it to float away and just hear and just feel and just sense. And there's a peace that's found right now. Now, fulfillment is another joy of life. It is, oops, let me do this. Fulfillment, the achievement of something desired, promised, or predicted. It's an achievement, right? Or a meeting of a requirement or a condition. So if you recognize that, oh, there was something else. A feeling of pleasure and satisfaction because you're happy with your life. The act or process of fulfilling desires, fulfilling needs. Those actions, those activities, when recognized, when brought into your awareness, fulfilling needs as simple as a breath. The body is being fulfilled with its needs. So if you're in a state of mental despair and confusion, bring your focus away from the world and into you and recognize there are needs being met. There is safety to be found. There is security and grounding, peace to be found. And when you find peace within your life, even if it's just for a few moments of the day, you bring it into your awareness and you feel good about it. Feel good about feeling good, because peace is our natural state. I don't know if I said this clearly, but that's the whole goal of meditation. Not only to practice the focus of your mind into singularity of focus without distraction, so you can practice concentration. At the same time, the practice of meditation is about allowing the dust to settle, right? Let the mud just sink away and allow the intellect and the wisdom to shine, to grow. And if you can develop that practice within yourself of peace, contentment with the moment, it doesn't mean you're accepting nonsense. It doesn't mean you're accepting toxicity or whatever. It just means that you care about yourself enough to allow yourself to feel comfort. And from the place of comfort, from a place of grounding, wherever you are, as you are, you can detach from yourself to become an outside observer of you and what you know mentally. But doing so does you a service. If you move your frame of mind from outside of you and your problems and maybe your nonsense, um, bringing a different perspective. This is where, like, the having the Spirit of Christ with you, having the conversations of a holy mind, even if it's just imagined, right? If you imagine yourself having a conversation with someone who truly, truly cares and loves you, and, but not just you, loves everyone, what would that holy mind, uh, what would be the responses for you? What are the answers your spirit wants you to know? Hey, oh, praise be. God bless you, MFers. I agree, Jake. And that which you seek is seeking you. That's what I keep telling myself honestly, and brothers and sisters, I'm sharing with you the truth of what I understand, the logic and the reasoning that I found comforting, and not only comforting but reinforced by the teachings of others. Okay, I'm regurgitating old idea. That's what people like to describe me as. I'm regurgitating old ideas with nothing new, just in my own ways. It's not memorized and repeated. It's okay to love ourselves, and it's necessary for peace and survival. If that means we walk away from toxicity, then we walk away. Freedom. And that is truth, Sophia. Amen. Um, and and especially in the greatest of seekers, the Most High, I agree. Sophia, my mind, I used to have such contempt and such disregard for the religious nonsense. I I humbly admit when I am wrong, and brothers and sisters, the Most High, the the body of Christ, the Spirit of Christ, the eternal knowing of God, and the love for you, it's there. See, that love and the peace is our natural state of being. It's our egoic, selfish, our self-centered, and not just self-centered. Let me step back. Accurately, it is our egoic wants and desires that moves us. Because, well, you can over you can go into this in different ways, but it's our desires that move us. There's a spirit to life. There's a spirit to life that's it's it's explained and described in a variety of different ways. The whole point of these religions, as I believe in the greatest purpose, the point of these religions is for each of us to find our way to the Most High, to develop our own mystical experience with the mystical, with the essence that is, with all that is. That was probably the best description I've heard about God. And it's described somewhat in the Bible. For those who've come across it, A Course in Miracles, there's a lot of people who have found value in that in that book, that series, whatever you want to call it. The Course of Miracles brings some beautiful perceptions on the divine and on Jesus and on the Christ. One of the ways I'd heard it said many different ways is the God is the all that is. The only thing that could be true, well, could be eternal, is that which is true. That which is true comes from the divine because the truth is perfect. And yet it takes all perspectives, many, many different perspectives to really know what is true. Oh, here, my mind is kind of, I start thinking about God. My mind just starts, wow, wow. It loves that journey of thought. Um, hey, evil exists by the grace of God, as we exist by the grace of God. Should God not have a purpose, it would not be. And just as I believe we have the ability within our own limitations, we have the ability within our lives to make the determination of what will and will not be in our experience. We choose what we allow ourselves to do. We choose who we allow ourselves to experience within limitations, of course. We're not the almighty, but we do have a say in how we spend our time. We do have a say in what is happening in this world we live in. Lumatami, bless you. Thank you for the contribution, but I don't know. Prish the exceeded subs will drop by or before HMFIC. You think that subs are going to continue? Oh, that's right. HMFIC has got a stream this evening as well, I think. So, matter of fact, starts in just a couple of hours. And today, brothers and sisters, I'm perfectly content sharing my perspectives alone. The link is pinned, though, for those who might want to join or have the ability to join. Beings that God did not create, do not have souls, and are not in the books of life. These beings took form through blood sacrifices made by humans, invoking them into material. I accept that as a as a truth. It could be very possible. I've no longer tried to really I know there's a lot of mysteries and there are a lot of people and things that are not as they seem. I know that there's a lot going on that we don't fully understand. Now, I don't make any claims to fully understand the big picture and the possibility of cloning, of artificial beings, of divinely, who knows? There's a lot of possibilities. But what I've chosen to accept and believe in my life for myself is that for whatever reason, God believes in me enough to allow me to be here on earth at this time with the knowledge of all the suffering and all the toxicity and all the stuff that's going on. So not only did God allow me to be here as I am and who I am in this lifetime, but then God allowed me to learn the things that I learned about the suffering, the conflicts, the toxicity, the corruption. So God allowed me to learn these things for a reason. And then, I've been trying to figure out what to do. There's a lot of opinions about me and for me, but today, again, my faith is in God. And my intentions today are, should whoever arrives, whoever joins the panel, should any, my intention is to be a man of peace and to try and continue to share faith faith in a divine creator who loves us, who wants us to grow, wants us to have success. I don't know how to explain what I know because I don't really know who I'm talking to be honest. I know what I know. I know the peace that I found. It aligns with what Jesus was saying. It aligns with the philosophies of the Buddhas, you know, the philosophy of flow, of Zen, of peace. And that's what I think too, is that in the progression of humanity, God's allowed so many gifted people. I mean, history and today, brothers and sisters, there are so many incredible, amazing, inspiring people alive doing some amazing, inspiring, incredible things. And holy cows, I'd love to be one of those. I'm hoping some of my inspirations can be found. I hope you can recognize the potential within yourself to become the adventure of life that you want. Yeah, there's a lot of hurdles. There's a lot of obstacles. There's a lot of there's a lot of pain and a lot of suffering that can be found in these lifetimes. I don't deny. I don't deny. And it feels good. I don't deny the bad or the good. I find the grace, the perfection in the mystery. There's a mystery to our lives, brothers and sisters. There is a true mystery to life. We're here to explore that mystery, to find out what we can uncover about the past, about the future. And here, what an honor. Welcome, brother. How you doing today, London?
I'm well, sir. Mic check, mic check. How am I sounding?
It's a bit rough. I don't know what's up.
Oh, hold on a second. One second. Let me log in on my computer. 1 second.
All right, brother. Hey, whatever works. Welcome.
Hey there, Mr. Jack.
How are you today?
I am doing just fine, thank you. I was listening to you and just felt like I had to come up and say hi because of your awesome positive message, despite the negative flack you may get.
Hey, thank you. Sincerely, thank you. I don't think you've been up here before, have you?
No, I haven't.
Well, all the more, man. I truly appreciate that you see what's going on and offer the encouragement as well. Um, what are your thoughts on the world today? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking it's still on some levels an expression of free will, you know? So if
Ooh,
evil exists, so does good out there, and it's kind of our own doing what's happening here. I don't think that a God would put that kind of evil on us. He would say, no, you have free will, otherwise you don't make it past this one test at this level. Can you go through an extreme density? And I do believe they meant it to be more of a utopia for us to go through this in a much more positive manner, but that's not the conditions we have. It was a failed experiment. We're trying to rectify it. But if you could be of high spirit and high energy and high vibration in this dark world right now, I like you are, Jack, I do believe that's an asset.
thank you. I agree. And you're showing your own light too, sharing it with me. Bless you. Thank you for that. I want to see how London's
Cool.
mic is.
Mic check, mic check.
You're clear but soft. Oh, you're up as loud as it goes.
Okay, 1 second. Mic check, mic check.
It's a little better. Yes, thank you.
All right. Let's go. Hold on. Let me turn it on some more. Cool.
Beautiful.
Good stuff. Happy Friday, Jack.
Blessings. That's what I was thinking as well. It doesn't really change much for me, but for the social life downtown, the opportunities open up a little more. So I don't know. It is Friday. And hey, if I can come back to what Tony was saying, I loved how you described it. We're still seeing the expressions of free will, I think is how you said it. The world is still in a state of confusion, and it is by free will we've chosen, and many have acquiesced or given away their responsibilities. I don't know.
It's because they don't see a higher power because they don't believe that they are a higher power. It's not submitting to a higher somebody else. It's submitting to yourself. A lot of people think that the bad things about the world that they see are the bad things about the world, but I think it's really what they feel about themselves, and they're projecting it outward.
Tony, that is very true for many different people, and I spent a long time doing that. My judgment and I was projecting out a lot of judgment, insecurities, and arrogance, and it blinded me from all the good. I had no idea.
Right?
Hey, oh, go ahead, please.
I was just saying hi to the gentleman that came up.
How you doing, man? Tony, you said something I thought was cool. You said that you think that this simulation, I'm calling it a simulation, we were meant to experience it more peacefully, but we're not doing that well. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm thinking they tried to interject with somebody to come along to, like Jesus, a higher density being, to interject people
Put
to a
us
higher
where we
mind
need,
state.
put us
Yes,
where we need to be. Yeah.
right. And then it was manipulated against itself as a position of power as opposed to one of love.
Are you talking about biblical or religious manipulation, or just generally speaking?
Yeah, how religion took it. The direction they took a very great being and associated it to their power dynamic to rule over people. It was never meant to rule over anyone. It was never meant to get tax-free dollars.
Yes, I think you're right.
So, yeah, I'm going more metaphysical than,
Hey, I had a thought today, and I'm curious. I'm not sure if you guys are the right ones to ask or not, but when I talk about the goals of, I believe, we can create a world without secrets, which would dismantle the authority and banking schemes. But a lot of the Christian response is, they go to the book about what's prophesized. Hey, welcome, Sarah. You might be a perfect one for this.
hello.
Hello, everyone. Continue on, Jack.
Well, a lot of the opposition I've received is, disbelief and doubt, and much of that is understandable. But the resistance that, well, the Bible says it has to get worse before it can be better.
I've said that argument myself. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those who rely on the prophecies and on the written prophecies, I think, are mistaken. I think they're showing more faith in a book than they are in God. Because I think it all comes back to God and faith in God. And I'm not saying the book is wrong by any stretch of the imagination. I'm saying the words are symbols, and symbols are open to interpretation.
Your interpretation of Revelation when all of this crazy shit is supposed to happen, damn it. On the dogs on chicken. Yeah, it looks like it's worse today by they're talking about all the famine and death and blah, 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 and even creatures, it appears, blah, blah, blah. Your interpretation is it does not get worse? Are you saying the Bible is just depends on how you look at it? Perhaps it's not getting worse with all the locusts and death that's coming.
I believe God has given us the opportunity to change, and maybe it's always been there, but it requires our will and our desire to sacrifice our old ways and our choice to embrace what is, which is God. And
Get
so
all that, but what's that got to do with whether it gets better or worse?
I think the case can be made, and there's others who have made the case that the signs have been. So if we can accept maybe the signs have been, then
all right.
maybe it is time.
All right.
And if the return of Christ is beyond just a single form, if it's conceptual, if those of us who've learned, if we start doing the body of Christ, dude, the corruption and shit's gonna end like that.
I get where you're going. I see where you're saying that perhaps these things have already occurred. Christ has come back. He's in us. He's doing good things. And the victory has already begun. The bad shit's already occurred, and the victory is on its way. I hear where you're going with that.
Right.
I gotta tell you though, I always thought since the 90s that it will be a computer chip put in your hand. And I keep thinking in my head until that shit happens, we're not really there yet.
There was news that Neuralink is doing its first thing. I saw it on social media today. They're putting a chip in the first I don't know if it's volunteer or not, but praise God, it's not me.
Well, what does that chip? That's why I looked it up last night. I've heard all these fantastical things about what the chip will be able to do. No one's talking about what it does. And I've looked a bunch of places to see what it's doing now. Everybody immediately jumps to what people say it will do. What do we know that it does now?
You'd have to have access to the patents, to be honest with you. You know, because then underneath the patent, they have to list the purposes that they're intended for or that were made into it, like the original TV years ago in the 40s and 50s, where they knew it was projecting signals out into the subconscious mind. It was part of the original patents.
Right.
Mm-hmm. They don't, to be honest, they don't need a device in your brain.
Yeah, no.
Your brain is a receiver.
Yeah, you're carrying one.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Go ahead, Jack. Sorry.
I was interrupting, but thank you. That's what I've been learning, man. The science has been around a long time. And the World Economic Forums today, the advisors are clearly saying, yeah, the dictators of today have opportunities those of the past did not. Humans are completely programmable animals. The knowledge has been revealed. So what is humanity going to do?
We're going to put in some anti-programming through our outreach.
They have put in end times programming into all of us.
Right. Preparation.
They've been triggered.
But what if it is time for the new?
We have one final move, Jack. It's a checkmate move. It's the big one. So think about the end of a fireworks show. You got to have the massive explosions all
Crescendo.
at once. Like the tribulation was all of the fireworks, but the checkmate is it's Armageddon. I know you don't like thinking about it, but it's necessary. And the point of it is to rid the world of evil.
Evil, yes. Evil is, it grows in the darkness. It thrives in confusion. Confusion is how humans become susceptible to these stupid, unhealthy habits.
It helps.
Would it help if you realize that many of the people walking around are not people, and those that will be burned and separated in the harvest are evil beings?
Wait, well, give me the
But
first
if you
part
don't
first.
know this, if
Give me
you
the
think
first
everyone is a human being of Adam and Eve, you will see it as evil with all
What
of
else
these
are they,
humans
Sarah?
dying.
What else are they?
Well, there's lots of beings. There's demons, there's angels, there's fallen angels, there's Nephilim.
Well,
There's
I'm
a
talking
wide
about.
variety of beings
talking about
walking around in human meat suits.
That's what I meant. You're talking about those end times tribulation. A lot of those people that appear to be people will be different beings, is what you're saying. Yeah.
And they're the
Right.
ones that perish. But if you don't understand what's going on, you think a lot of humans are dying. And how could God do this? He's ridding the world of evil beings.
Well, Sarah, it seems like it's possible, if that philosophy is true, that right now a lot of the people that perish would be evil, if not all. Does that philosophy hold now, or is that just for the end times?
I mean, we've been through cycles where God's tried to rid the world of evil. I mean, the flood in itself was him trying to get rid of the Nephilim, but the spirits still resided on earth. So they came back when we did, when humans did sacrifices, they came back into human form with their consciousness that was still existing. Those are your demons.
Go ahead, Jack. You're going to say something?
There's a lot of mysteries to what is or is not, but it comes down to, what do we want to do? I want to try.
To what?
Could you right there with you, Joe? What do you want to do, Jack?
You'll leave us hanging, motherfucker?
I want to try as much as I can to do as many things as I think will improve the world.
Bullshit,
I want to
nonsense.
try and ending wars. I want to try speaking some sense into the people pretending to be government, and then maybe speak some sense to the people pretending to be corporate leaders. And I think we could transform what is. The whole world right now, it has been built literally by the working class. And through our lifetimes, generations of proud labor, one after another, we've been denying ourselves the opportunity to learn and maybe perhaps experience different things in our lives.
With the rat race of the 9 to 5, we've been missing out on other things. In particular, I think you're about to go towards elevating our consciousness and things like that.
That is necessary to survive all of this.
Right. Maybe that's what the Bible meant when it says it has to get worse before it gets better. Maybe it's talking about people, because we really don't become very hardened or wise unless we've experienced a lot of negativity ourselves.
It seems that way, don't it, man?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those are the people that reaches.
Trial and error.
Yeah. They get to the highest heights, it seems like.
That's what the Bible gave many examples of, that where those people that God's using, they're taken through the darkness in order for their light to truly shine. And I think that's many people I've met. to be honest. I think
Didn't Jake Hub call that the hero's journey yesterday?
it's true. It truly
Sounds
is.
like we all have our hero's journey of Jack. Right?
We have individual hero's journey and a global hero's journey. The global one
I like it,
where
Sarah.
we
I like
get,
it.
yeah, we still have to open the fucking abyss.
Wait, be specific with that.
They hold the keys, so it's just a matter of time. We're waiting for orders.
Are you talking about? What are you? Oh my God, this just got interesting.
Sarah's a mystery in herself.
Sarah's talking about those that came from below.
No.
I was wondering.
No?
The ones that hold the keys to the abyss are not from those below.
I think Sarah's talking about
what comes out of the abyss are those that are from below. But
okay.
I wonder if Sarah's talking about that CERN nonsense, opening up through the gateways to technology. Is that what you're talking about?
CERN certainly is trying to do that. They are trying to emulate the Big Bang Theory, whether they create life or a black hole.
It's good
that is
reason.
What they're doing. They were trying to find, the foundations of everything in it, and they cannot capture the Higgs boson because
they got it already,
or whatever evaporates. It turns into other things basically instantly. So they can't actually capture God. They can only mathematically.
Wait. All right. I don't want to confuse.
But
people.
that is the God particle, even though that's not what they originally called it.
Yes, they called it a God particle because they said if you find it, it will give you insight into the mind of God, which everything does.
No, they called it the goddamn particle because they couldn't fucking find it. And the publisher of the dude that wrote the book suggested to call it the God particle.
I read that crappy book. It was written in the 90s. Yeah, I read that shit. Yeah, it doesn't hold up well today. But girl, what was I going with? I forgot where you were going. Fuck with the God particle thing. So
I was talking about the abyss and opening it up with the key.
Oh yes, yeah. They did find the Higgs boson, but even better, it seems some evidence that they are making some ground on that, opening up that gateway with that device. There's reason to believe from
back
the time
in 2012.
Yeah, I'm about to say from the time it started up and shut down, they coincide. It looks like they might be onto something. And then that celebration there that they're having, they're coming out in the open. They think they got it. They think they got the formula. It looks like, bro. They're bold now.
They're very bold, and they're Go ahead, Jack.
Well, evil is becoming more bold, and the ignorant are becoming more bold. I truly believe this is the time of the separation. Those who are turning to the light will grow in the light, will grow in wisdom, will grow in love. Those who have not learned to love the truth, they are loving their delusions. And CERN is an excellent question as far as what really is going on. As I understand, it's supposed to be built at the Apollyon or whatever, which was supposed to historically be the abyss.
I hadn't heard that.
You know what I'm talking about? I know I'm misspeaking it.
I mean, no, I hadn't heard that the location was significant. I've looked into a lot of other shit about
the location.
Oh, Sarah was right about something else about the Higgs boson, and a lot of other particles do that too. When they collide them, they turn into different particles before they become what they're gonna be on, what they're gonna determine to be. But that hasn't stopped them from discovering those, and that haven't stopped them from discovering the Higgs boson. And it looks like they haven't got any closer with the discovery. They don't know the insight into God. All these things didn't develop. They're still unsure of what it does.
I'm just wondering if it indirectly did something else.
Interesting, right? If what they're telling us would be bullshit, so indirectly, if you get into what's the cat's name? The guy who wrote Black Holes, Baby Universes.
What was that, Carl Sagan?
No.
hold on.
Stephen
See,
Hawking.
thank you,
Stephen
Hawkins.
Hawking. There we go.
Radiation. All right.
Sorry.
Check this out. The theory behind Hawking's radiation shit. Nothing's supposed to escape through a black hole. Apparently, some things do escape. Then they whip around the end, whatever it is, event horizon, and some parts come. And these parts, because they're torn apart, are totally new pieces of matter that are new to our universe. Meaning, we know all the matter that exists around a black hole. Stephen Hawking is right, and this Hawking's radiation should exist, which a lot of people believe. Now, new particles are being introduced into the universe that we don't know what would happen if you combine these particles with our existing particles, what you're going to get. What Dude said makes me think perhaps they're ahead of us. Perhaps they're using these particles in a designer fashion to make things happen, whether it be our reality, Mandela effect, or opening up the holes, portals.
Yeah, it's possible. Just by viewing the future, you change the current.
I like that.
Hey, you guys familiar with this guy,
It does
Nassim
look-
Harriman?
Hold on, I
By
didn't want to
chance?
zoom in. It looked like
No.
J Hub from a distance. Let me see.
Oh shit!
No, it's not
Oh,
J.
shit.
I zoomed in. He looked
That was
like he's Hindu or something. Yeah, I see.
He's a physicist he's got some beautiful explanations that make sense to my simple mind, and I don't claim to understand what he's the math and the absolute science, but he claims to understand looking at the mass of black holes and such. He's presented a unified theory.
Oh, bullshit. Oh, this is about to be
So,
good. Einstein died trying to present a unified field theory. So this dude has
yep.
an interest to answer. I am totally interested in what he got.
Well, and there's a free program, an online course. It costs nothing, and I'll drop that in the link for anyone who's interested. I found it very. It's been a while since I looked at it, but I found it very helpful and very interesting.
The short version of a unified field theory, if you're not physics fans, you have conventional physics like gravity, you throw it up, some comes down, and you have quantum physics, which has different rules. People are trying to rationalize the two, unify them, and find a unified formula, theory that explains how they're so different. No one has been able to do it. This guy should be across the world news if he's found unified field theory.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And
Yep.
so I'm certain there probably are skeptics.
I'm one, as you can
I
probably
don't know.
I want to see what he got. Let's see.
Well, I encourage you to check out that course.
Oh,
Because that's supposed to give you control over mass, time, matter, space. It gives you the keys to all that stuff.
Yes. You'd be able to. I don't even want to start. Can you find a video of that dude on YouTube? Can you look up his YouTube him and see if we got a short or anything on that dude? Big claims require big proof.
Well, yeah,
Right.
part of the idea of these discoveries is that it will be develop free energy and stuff like that.
Yes, if you could do that, you can do the zero.
It would have to, because the whole particle theory has already been refuted with the slit experiment that shows that things aren't dense until they're viewed.
Exactly.
You need an observer.
Yes.
Where's the rectification between the two?
It looks like it's us, the human. It looks like everything was built for us. The whole thing is designed for us. Without the observer, it doesn't exist, or the rules exist differently. It looked like this is all about God created this for you. That's what it points to.
It exists. It's just not in material form. It's in ethereal form.
Right. It's like a video game. It exists in a different form until you look at it, and then it aligns with what you're accustomed.
I agree.
It's logical.
Hey, welcome, Sofia. Here, this is a short of him I just pulled up.
My man. Thank you. Let's hear it.
You are an extension of space, is what it's titled.
This
Okay.
is how the universe. So then you start to think of yourself as an extension of space, learning about yourself. Einstein didn't quite say it that way because he was missing the feedback part, but he did say that all objects are an extension of space because he realized there was this field at the Planck scale. This is how the universe.
A little brief taste, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
That's neither here nor there. He's not really saying a whole lot of nothing. He is. I'm interested. Fuck it. I'm interested.
Please,
But-
I encourage people, look into some of the information that's out there. I mean, yeah, you may find yourself spending time learning something that's useless, or maybe even it's inaccurate, but spend time learning. This is our opportunity, man.
If someone told you, listen, I'm going to teach you to color, and all you have crayons, and someone gives you 3, and you're painting fucking masterpieces with them, and then they tell you there's 61 more, there's a 64 pack. If you don't go investigate that, you're an idiot. That's what we're doing, not looking into the unseen shit. That's what we're doing right now.
I love that.
Well said.
Hey, this question is an interesting one. Is God's job done, or is it still creating?
It's always creating.
Who knows God's perspective, but we are the creation that's happening. How we feel about it, what we do. I think we're here to create the lives of our dreams. And when we were young, the society and the world taught us to limit our dreams and not to dream big, but to conform.
Yes, that would mean society don't necessarily mean it, but it looks like that would mean society was beat down, and it's and it's imprinting that bullshit.
Nobody run. I'm not here for you guys yet. I just wanted to clear it up as the resident science and Jesus believer, because some of the chat has it wrong too. When they talk about how observing particles changes them, observing does not mean eyeballs seeing them. You guys make me scream at my TV, and I had to get that out.
What does it actually mean, Tommy?
Well, you've obviously been touring YouTube, because that's what we're doing, is listening to a girl tell us about the YouTube videos she watched. And even Joe's research comes down to, do we got a YouTube video on this we can look up?
You know,
Come
stop
on, guys.
up and insult people with your insecure
Now,
ass. Just try to have
particles
this
do
conversation.
change upon observance. And isn't Higgs boson, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't Higgs boson the fictional theoretical device that could drain stars of their power for our use?
No, the Higgs boson bridge was to cross time and space.
Then which is the thing that drains stars? Because I do have a problem with keeping
Your
my word.
imagination, Tommy.
You don't know of the thing I'm speaking of, Tony?
No, I just don't want to help you out with it.
Oh, yeah, that shows, that displays who you are. It's okay, I'm gonna get you too.
I think you're
But
thinking
yeah,
of you.
and Joe, this guy that he was showing, he's also displaying a theory, meaning no one has answered the Einstein thing. He's still theorizing as well. You guys are remedial.
I'd like to. You don't have to throw the insults. It's a sign of insecurity. It's weird. I'd like to see his research. And
right, I just got to stop you because I don't care what you're saying.
All
I'm saying is when particles are observed, they do change, and we've shown how you can observe them halfway through their function. All right, never mind. Hey, keep hating truth, people. Keep hating truth.
Much love.
You're not observing it directly.
Yes, but he didn't care. They were using photon detectors, blah blah blah. But,
right.
Yeah.
I wasn't claiming personal observance.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Yeah.
kind of off topic from what we're discussing, but it's related to a note I had written.
Okay.
Questions. Are you wanting to feel alive? And are you afraid to open your eyes?
All right. First answer. What makes you think motherfuckers don't feel alive? I feel very alive every day, all day, blah, blah, blah. And am I afraid to open my eyes? I don't know. Maybe these questions were somebody different. I'm the arrogant fuck who think he's,
You're
doing
different. You're
Uh,
different, Joe. But
I have some follow-up questions.
well. Go.
Clarifying questions. When you say alive, do you mean physically alive and full of happiness and joy, or do you mean spiritually alive? Because there's a lot of people that are alive and spiritually dead.
yes, that is the question I kind of wanted to toss out there for people to consider. The idea of wanting to feel alive. What does feeling alive mean? You know, what does that mean to feel alive? But welcome, Flo.
I miss Tommy.
Lucky you.
We didn't miss much.
Uh-oh.
That makes one of us.
You remember
Love you,
past-
Tommy.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
What was the
Well-
second question, Jack? I already forgot.
Are you
I had
afraid?
clarifying questions.
Are
Oh, to
you
open
afraid?
your eyes. Are you talking
Afraid to
about
open
physical
your
eyes or the third eye?
Conscious eye, the awareness. And that actually, the awareness, the consciousness and the awareness, noticing what you're aware of, that actually is something I forgot to mention with the peace and the fulfillment. Things can exist, but if it doesn't come into your field of consciousness, you won't notice the peace. You won't notice the love.
Logical.
You won't
It's
notice the
logical.
opportunity.
Yeah.
We got to pay attention.
Jack, you took me some to the visible light spectrum. The part we can see, the light spectrum of the things that exist out there is huge. Where are my hands? It's huge like this. The visible part that we can see is small. Doesn't mean that these other things exist. Alpha waves, radio waves, internet waves, or whatever. They exist. You just can't see them. Again,
That's where the spiritual realm exists. Is everything
Again,
outside of
we
visible
need
light.
to focus on the things that we can't see. I'm just beating that home. Yeah.
Cannot see. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes,
Focus
yes.
on the things unseen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
It's the
Right.
unseen that reveals the scene. What's up, Flo?
It just, I don't know, nothing really. It seems strange to me that the visible light spectrum, it perfectly overlaps like tangible reality. You'd think that there'd be some things outside the visible light spectrum
Yeah.
that you can feel nonetheless, right? Like you'd be running into invisible things all the time.
Yeah.
It's at a different frequency and vibration.
I know that's yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about though. Like,
Oh,
yeah, it's the like doesn't I don't know.
Thank you,
This
man.
will
Like,
require you to hit your shadow flow. You can
think-
feel it. You just have to go deep within.
I think he's talking
Okay,
about
that's
more
also
like
enough. I'm talking
I
about
think
like
matter. He's talking
this
about
huge
matter.
lighter. Why isn't there an
more
invisible huge
matter
lighter?
that doesn't exist in the invisible light spectrum? I get him. Yes, it seems to be
Pretty
mostly force carriers and shit over there. No, he waits for me, right, to get comfortable, and then he asks, "Can he jump on the bed?" And I sit up. He jumps on the bed, hop off, and we do it. As soon as he sees me, sits up. He sits down there and begs to hop on the bed.
Is that dog wearing a scarf?
No, come here. I'll show you what he's wearing. Come here. Up. Oh, now you want to
You're
really?
gonna embarrass. You should have just said no.
Can I elaborate on what I was saying about
Go
feeling
fix
it?
it.
Because you do feel things that are outside of you, but you feel it within. Like if you walk
Okay.
through, if you walk through a
Yeah.
spiritual being, you'll feel their energy. But
But
you have it'll be like an internal sensation.
But that's definitely exactly not what I was talking
He
about.
still has a great
Then you'll need to
argument, though,
explain
right?
I'm talking about just hard
Yeah.
matter. Yeah.
Why is that not more
Well, that's
hard matter on the invisible light spectrum if there's so much on the visible light spectrum? Interesting.
I don't
And
think
yet,
I actually understand the question.
all right,
Well, okay.
the things you can see, if I can, if the things that you can see, which is in the visible light spectrum, this bed, this dog, if you walk forward, you'll bump into them. There's a lot
Yeah.
of shit on the invisible light spectrum that you can walk through and it'll go through and shit. Why isn't there some invisible beds and dogs around that I'm bumping into?
Because they don't have material form.
Right. So material form exactly correlates with the visible light spectrum.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. That's the interesting thing. I mean,
Yeah.
because the visible light spectrum is a very small sliver of light. Right.
And that's a small sliver of existence and the dimensional levels.
So light and matter must necessarily be at least dependent on each other, if not the same thing to an extent, right?
Yes.
Or visible light.
Yes.
I don't know. It was just an interesting observation.
No. It's extremely interesting. I'll be thinking about this shit for a long time to come. They must be tangled somehow. If all the fucking matter, the particles that have matter, exist in the visible light spectrum, there's more entanglement going on here, more worth investigating.
Maybe it's because we can see the visible light, and so we expect the physical objects to be there.
You know that was heavy when you opened your mouth. That's really hard. So that means just through mind, there is an invisible couch there, but because I don't expect it to be there, I walk through it. Seems like we'd be bumping into invisible shit all the time.
No,
Until you walk into that wall you didn't realize was there.
Exactly.
Not if physical reality is a manifestation of expectation.
Yes, it would be totally dependent upon that, right? And it's not so illogical. I just sat up here and said God made everything for us, and now I'm saying that this is a stretch flow. It's all logical.
Well, if God made us in His image, then He would have given you the power of creation too, which means that if you believe something,
logical.
I'm too far out in the meta ocean for my own comfort at this point.
If you follow that thought through, though, I mean, when we believe something to be real, physically or not, it does become real to us in our experience.
I mean, placebo effect proves that it becomes real.
To create other beings like ourselves. Everything that He created drops seeds or whatever to create its own self. So
I know I do.
Right.
We create more humans. Humans create humans. Apple trees create apple trees. The seed within a seed.
Right. Meaning what?
That's how we create. We have the ability to be like God. We create life.
Okay.
Through man and woman, through the egg and sperm, we create life.
Is it logical that
like God?
Is it logical that the way God created life in us, we create?
No, but hold on.
Let me go there. Let me shut up.
Let me interject real quick. I mean, when you really check it, we don't even create life. We just harbor life. Life is already created inside of us, whether we know it or not. All we're doing is harboring life and bringing it forth. We don't actually create nothing. This is what I've been telling people. We are not creators. We're just harborers. We don't create nothing. We just harbor shit.
I'm not sure I understand. Can you be more specific to the life is already inside of us?
We are filled with life on a micro level.
Yeah. Like baby, we're gonna create. You're saying
it's existing already. It's existing already.
Yes.
Already. I've been trying to tell you like this, and I've been waiting for a panel like this to get it out because this is a lit show. I'm loving this little dialogue between you guys. It's dope. Keep going. I'm just sitting back here loving it. So keep going, please.
Yes.
That's a good clarifying word to rephrase it properly. We aren't actually creating it. We already have the sperm and the eggs.
I agree with that.
We're just mating.
I'm not sure. I'd give some pushback. I'll give a little pushback on that shit. You'd have to go into what is creating.
Like, for instance, if I create apple pie or something, I'm taking some shit that exists, or I create a house or some beautiful painting. I'm taking from things that exist, yet I created a little bit of that beautiful painting. I
You're
still get to
reorganizing.
be a creator, right? I created it in the
Yeah.
fashion that it's in. I created that, or no?
You're the instrument for creation. Creation happens through us, around us, with us,
Is that true?
as us. And
No, fuck that. That's not logical. No. I mean, not
that,
what you're saying. I'm talking about what dude's saying. I'm still listening to what dude said, not you, Jack. I'm still dwelling on what he said. I'm sorry.
well, you say
Yo, it's so cool. I
life
like
is
that.
happening, and he's right. Life is happening. All that is from our perspective, all that is interpretations of
What
electrical
is?
signals and chemicals.
Okay.
And then we form words around what we think and feel. We're manifestations of energies that remember.
That's dope,
Look.
yo. I gotta look into that water memory shit more. I've never researched it as much.
That shit's wild.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jack, that's what I said the other day on my panel. Actually, me and was having a dialogue about something, and I said it seems like the world called amnesia, and on the second time around, we're just trying to remember when we come back through. Like we're forgetting. It's like we're trying to remember basically, but I think we completely forgot the old ways.
I think that some about the body, the physical, the pollutants and all of that shit keep us from remembering. And in fact, I'm so conspiratorial. I think the government knows what chemicals help keep us from remembering, and they get us, put it in our toothpaste, our air and everything. And that, yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Hey,
And the
Yeah.
funny line clouds.
The greatest gift, though, the greatest gift that cannot be, well, it can be taken away, it can be given away. Our awareness, our attention, our awareness of being now, and recognizing we don't know the future. We got no clue what life is going to reveal for us to choose, or what we might learn and discover in the future. But if we start recognizing the opportunities of today, we can set little goals within ourselves to become better than before. And then, the pursuit of little goals, you see yourself taking actions. Actions bring forth momentum. And the next thing you know, you're working towards a greater goal that you didn't know was inside of you. That's where my mind is working. I haven't made as much progress in the directions that I'd hoped. But I do still have big goals. And as far as I'm concerned, every day, my spirit and the
I'm
world.
not sure you have goals. You may have dreams. I'm not sure you have goals.
What do you see as the difference?
I see if you have a goal, you're trying to reach towards something. If you have a dream, you're thinking, yeah, I want to hit the lottery and I hope I become famous or something. You have a goal, you're probably working toward it.
You don't think I'm working towards my goals of having conversations with people who might actually try and help end wars?
No, because if I push you for 10 minutes, you're going to tell me, you're going to give me a reason why you're not working toward those goals.
Hey, actually, how about this?
Yeah.
How about this? I recognize this. There's been a pattern I'm seeing.
Okay.
It looks like there's some who enjoy being around me, but kind of feel like they got to walk on eggshells a little bit.
Yeah.
I've been reactive, and I think Flo, you said it. That I present as though I react to criticism. I know I have had my reactions, but
I think you take disagreement about an idea as a personal criticism. Right. I think it's what I probably.
It's a little scary too. All right.
I was paying attention to the chat though, so I don't really know what context that I'm responding to. This
sounds about right. I assume that's what he thought you were saying. That sounds about right. Yeah.
I don't mean it to be that way, but the disbelief and the doubts, what I'm trying to overcome is egoic resistance. Because all I'm suggesting is this is what God has shown that makes sense. Here's the reasons why this makes sense. This is what I've experienced at the micro level in my own life and why I say the things I do. But I'm serious about, I truly believe the path that God's going to reveal. As long as I live, as every day I get
we're
up.
talking about two different things now, bro. Right? If we're talking about the goals, if we're still talking about the goal thing,
Goals
because I
and
think we
dreams.
still are goals and dreams. Yeah. Then if you are, if those are your goals, you could point out the steps that you're taking towards reaching that goal. If they're dreams, you know, I could dream all day and tell you about how I'm gonna hit the lottery or fuck this bad bitch. If I have goals, I could probably set them forward.
I've explained those, and you've judged me for
Be
having the
nice,
wrong
relax.
goals. Well, I see.
Can you
the
tell me
steps.
now what
Yeah,
steps you're gonna take to
the
achieve
step.
your goals? Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
The steps I've been pursuing and I'm continuing to pursue are a number of different directions. I believe, and I still have a little bit, not much, less hope anymore, that I could eventually find the right content and the right way to deliver, make a revenue stream off of this, grow by getting on different
That's a goal.
platforms.
Yeah.
And by growing on different platforms, opening connections for conversations with other people.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to pursue professionally and towards the goal of, you know, getting in front of having conversations with other people this way.
Yeah.
But in addition, you know, I'm still trying to find a way to reunite my family, to have a conversation with my son, and I still hold hope somehow that I may achieve justice for the wrongful shit that's happened in my life. And those things, should those happen, and those are different goals, those could truly help me achieve my dreams.
Yes.
You should definitely, for both of those goals, I think that the best thing anybody can offer you is disagreement. Because if you can't present your case to us here, then you can't present it to clients or to whoever doles out justice.
I always thought that was logical. Yeah.
I mean,
Well
it is.
said, Jack.
That's what many people have offered, and yes, I
But the difference is
still
between resistance to
stumble.
ideas and attacks on Jack. Those are different things.
Yeah. Some of these niggas be attacking you, not
Right.
so much us, bro.
I know.
Yeah. And it, you know, it's not my job to point them out when they're going on. It's not my job, but you know, a lot of these motherfuckers do attack for that sake. But learn to differentiate, bro, because I don't want to walk on eggshells. Yeah.
I recognize that. That's kind of why I wanted to address this. Is you know, I see my part in that. Okay, certainly. I am trying to grow, and one of the things I thought about, an observation, when actually, it's a greater lesson too. When we feel safe, we present ourselves more authentically.
Great.
And I have felt safe in, you know, in presence of you guys, and I guess I let my emotions out, and I lash out at people who are kind, and I don't intend to.
You can see those people who we make it our business to make you feel safe, and you can see those people who didn't give a fuck a little less than we do. But I see everybody here hold their tongues and they're being patient and all of that. I see it all the time, bro.
I realize that, and I'm growing. I'm learning. I told Flo as well.
Yeah, I assume that once kind of the smoke clears from the flying monkeys, that you'll have it figured out. Like, you know, I'm not going to pull my punches forever. That's so. Hey, you're going to have to step up the sussing out here. But no, I assume it'll work itself out. So it doesn't stress me really. It sounds. I don't know if like this was like I said, I was paying attention to the chat. I don't know if you brought this up on your own or somebody did something, but yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I understand how to say things to you that won't get me booted the fuck out of the panel. If I do find myself there, I knew that it was going to come anyways, you know, so it's not like I'm not playing some part in it, even if I am completely blameless as usual.
I'm sorry to react that way. The Flo, you're absolutely right.
He is blameless.
Where I
Wait, what?
laugh, that completely blameless, literally, and again, not to poke or antagonize, but I literally heard our favorite friend saying that today.
Sarah?
What?
No,
Uh,
Mr. Paul, how he's never wrong. I'm
So
like,
he's pilfering my sayings now. I need some royalties off of this 4-ply donations that he's apparently getting.
Oh my goodness! You know,
I made him.
right. I knew you was gonna
Uh-oh.
go there, bro.
Uh-oh.
it could be. It could be
Oh, praise God.
said. Amen. You know, these lives, especially on the metaverse, where we're not actually physically interacting with each other, it's really easy to get caught up in the drama of life and the drama of others and to lose sight of what's important. What's important?
Money.
No, not
Drugs.
money.
We
Finding ways to overcome. I'm telling you, man, when you see the big picture like I see it,
you don't want to say the word.
well, Henry Ford said it a long time ago, and he was a successful, wealthy businessman, but
His trucks suck.
He said something about if the public knew the truth of the banking system, the streets would be filled by the morning. You know, the citizens would not accept this this nonsense. It's, guys, there's a battle between good and evil, and it's beyond just what we are. I'm confident in that belief, and all of the eternal past brought us to where we are and what we know of today. And this time is a mystery. You know, we were talking about the mystery of life. What makes the atoms? What makes the molecules? What makes these things stick together? Why do we're literally like just walking Ziploc bags of spaghetti and fluids and
gross.
How the hell does all this work? Praise God.
Are you saying we're leftovers?
I think so.
Yeah.
No, I'm just.
Are we tomorrow's sloppy joes?
We're yesterday's spaghetti.
All right. Let's do
things
some of this
that maybe
fucking.
we're not meant to know right now.
All right, let's do our daily test.
You're real soft, Sarah, but what'd you say?
That was Sophia.
Or Sophia?
Something along the lines
Can
of
you all
us.
hear me okay? I'm having trouble with my phone.
I got you.
Yeah, you were so low. I thought it was Sarah talking
Okay,
to.
let me try to.
You're louder now. I think.
Let me try to adjust my mic. Is
He
that
got
better?
you. I think.
Yep,
sounds
gotcha.
good.
Okay. The only thing I said just then was I said maybe there are some things in this life that we aren't supposed to know or that we don't need to know yet, which brings me to what I would like to say real quickly. We have a paradox of life that on the one hand, it is so simple. And on the other hand, it is full of complexities. And the complexities are the part that the way my mind works, I do like to research. I do like to have these kind of discussions. I like philosophy. I like learning from other faith traditions. I like different cultures of people. There's so much that we can find to enjoy and to learn and to embrace with the complexity side of life. The simple side of life for me, with trying to answer these bigger questions of what's really going on, what's really going to happen, who's really evil, who's really good, how do we fix it? It's above my pay grade, but in my heart, I know the one who has all the answers. I know him personally.
I'm
I
sorry.
know him through his son, Jesus
So did you
Christ,
get
that
up here to
loves
tell
me.
us? Did you get up
Joe,
here?
please don't interrupt me. This is
Girl.
important. I know him in my heart. I know him through the things that have happened in my life where there was no way. He showed me the way. I talk to him like he is my best friend. When I pray, I don't go to God and say, "Oh God, give
What
me
are you
this,
doing?
God, give me that." I pray for other people. I pray for the needs and concerns of other people. And then I thank God for my blessings. And then I do ask my Father God, show me how to be a better woman. Show me how to be a better person. I've had some failures. I've had some setbacks. I've made some mistakes. Help me overcome those and be better and do better. And when I have that solid knowledge in my heart that I know that no matter what these other answers are that we all enjoy talking about, I enjoy it very much. These kind of conversations I always have. But at the end of the day, when I close my eyes to go to sleep at night, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. Even if I
Praise
didn't
God.
have
Hallelujah.
even if I didn't have that written word, there would still be that word on my heart because Jesus Christ is the word. And that's just
Is
how
this
I live my
parade over
life.
yet?
Well, I'm
Nice.
I
I'm
mean, are
just
you just going to
speaking.
parade it
Thank
around up and down the
Okay.
street and up and down the street until I say something
Hey,
about it?
come on,
Okay,
Flo,
but
be nice.
rather than
Yeah,
attacking
leave that for me, Flo. Leave the
Sophia, I
asshole
agree
shit
with
for
you
me.
and that we aren't supposed to know everything because at
I was
times
going
our
right back
mind
there.
is not at a place to accept it for what it means because of how complicated it can be. There are a lot of times where if we revealed the whole truth to someone, it would shatter their psyche to the point that they would not be able to function.
All right, that's what
But
I was.
when
Yeah.
it is time for you to know something, God will make sure you get the message. And sometimes it's in your fucking face, and sometimes it's so subtle that you have to really pay attention.
All right,
I
here's the
agree with
question
you,
I want to
Sarah.
know.
That's very nicely put. Thank you.
I want
You're
to
welcome.
ask both of you guys. What we were talking about is she hopped up here and correctly said what we were talking about is how to figure things out, how to change things, how to make a difference in all of these things. And it seemed to me, which is why I got angry for a second, is that she was saying that it seemed to me like she was coming off to saying that it was somehow a virtue not to do that. I'm wondering, are you echoing that, Sarah?
Oh
Or am
no,
I
I
hearing
think
you
it's a
guys say
wonderful
it's
thing to
virtuous
do.
not to try to figure some shit out?
No, that's not what I'm saying. And even that's not what she's saying
Me
either. She
either.
loves to
No,
investigate.
I'm not.
It's
Okay.
just she,
I love these kind of conversations.
Okay.
yeah. It's just that we're not going to be able to find all of the answers yet. And I think she's saying that we're not supposed to until it's time.
By
Even
the
if
way,
it's
Sophia, I search for those answers, and I do all those things you do as well. I pray to my dad. I ask him
I
for
know you
answers.
do,
I do all
Joe.
those things. So
I know you do because it
yeah.
shows when you smile and when you react to certain things. I can see that you know who I'm talking about and
I've
what I'm
never
talking
heard
about.
that. that's that makes me feel good. I've never heard nobody say, I can tell through looking at your laughing and your reactions that you know God. I don't think I've ever heard nobody say
I think it's true. That's surprising.
that.
I think, well, the light we share when we use that expression, someone is showing light in their being.
Yeah.
It's usually joy, laughter,
Yeah.
love. It's
Yes.
a light
Yes.
feeling.
Yes.
And this world teaches us to take a lot of things pretty seriously.
What's
Maybe
up,
the
Jesse?
wrong things
Jesse, you been
seriously.
here?
Just a few minutes. You just got up here, Joe.
Oh, there it is. All right. What's good, buddy? Let me.
Jack, what were you saying? Can you continue?
I actually lost track of the thought. Thank you, though.
I wanted to can I touch on something?
Of course, yeah.
About what you were speaking about not knowing certain things, and I do think like that as well. You know, we ain't supposed to know certain things, right? And also see certain things. That's why maybe we have different spectrums which we can see in, right? Things you can't see and things you ain't supposed to understand.
Am I just crazy? I just think of a bunch of soft ass niggas. I have no idea what y'all talking about. I'm way on the other end. What is it that we're not supposed to know? What is that? Which one?
Well, actually, here, let me to bring those something that's applicable, something useful. There's a lot we don't know. It can be humbling, it can be frightening, realizing what we don't know, but that's the gift of faith. That gift of faith is the comfort, the confidence of knowing, even in the face of the unknown, even in the face of the uncertain. So even in the face of evil.
So what are these things that these ladies speak of?
No, it's already been proven that we can't handle the extra parts of the extra light spectrum, as proven by the original night vision in the 70s that was of a red spectrum, and they were seeing demons everywhere and shooting at other helicopters. So if you came into this existence being able to see all demons and craziness and everything out there, you'd probably commit suicide the moment you were conscious.
Didn't they get them cats LSD, man, when that happened? That's how that happened.
No, they decommissioned them, and that's why all night vision is now of a green spectrum. It was a very widely reported thing.
I read
I didn't
something about
actually
that.
hear that.
They thought that the guy was on drugs, and then the captain put on the goggles himself.
Right. I thought I heard someone that dosed those.
So I'm saying things you ain't supposed to see yet. You know, things we ain't supposed to see yet in the spectrum, because we ain't ready for shit. We ain't ready for shit. Hey, listen, Jack, we're not even ready for war in the metaverse. You know, some people curl up into a ball. Some people curl up into a ball. Some people start crying, running back to daddy and shit.
This is true. Soft ass niggas, soft ass motherfuckers, like I said, through the gate. Right? I don't fear God. God loves me. I'm not afraid. Oh my God, some scary's around the corner. He got me. Why would I be afraid of anything? I don't understand.
That's the key. That's the key to remember. But hey, this not knowing, we can be grateful. And actually, I've included some of that into my prayer. Is I've recognized that, maybe you guys have, well, Jesse, he's shared a story briefly. He got stabbed a dozen times. I mean, there's a lot of people that got a lot of memories that I'm glad I do.
Have we heard that story?
We
haven't heard that story.
I have.
Oh, you have?
You have?
Maybe I have. I get high a lot. I could have forgot it easily a couple of times.
No, I haven't said it on Jack's panel, but he's probably heard me talk about it either in High Vibe Love Tribe or on the Missing Link. So
if you haven't said it on Jack's,
I've told it a few times.
Yeah, I haven't heard it either.
But the question I wanted to ask for what we were just talking about is that the big excuse why full disclosure hasn't rolled out is because they think that the masses can't handle it. And I think it's an excuse for them to continue on with that, with people just having that faint hope. What's your guys' thoughts on the masses not being able to handle full disclosure? I guess maybe not as far as the demon part, seeing those things, but at least the banking, the corruption, full disclosure of what's been going on with the government, the child trafficking and all that kind of stuff.
I don't know if you were here yesterday, but I thought that's where JD's line of thinking went when he was thinking we have to have someone smart do the thinking for idiots. I think that's where it leads. Someone who thinks they're very smart says we can't handle these intercontinental politics and financial policies, so they just don't have to tell us.
Well,
That's what I'm doing here.
that's
J-Hub hired me. I was homeless and retarded, and J-Hub hired me to manage you guys' thinking for you.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, J-Hub.
That's Flo. That's wild because I paid J-Hub to do my work, so that's wild.
You
See
damn
how it works.
oligarchy are so heavy,
So wait
bro.
a second. Did you just one up me? I can't understand because I'm retarded. But
hey,
but at least I'm strong.
I haven't answered a general question.
Jay in the chat. Hold on, let me see what he said.
what's that?
I know Jay Hub was in the chat. Full disclosure will call everything to fall apart.
Well, the question Jesse asked, and
This is
with
great.
this topic, this has been the mindset of those in authority as for what has been and has not been disclosed to the public. So I'm of the belief that, well, it works both ways. God has graced us by what we do not know, but God has empowered us with what we know. So what do we do?
Okay, this is going to change the conversation totally.
Yeah.
And I hope it brings
It's okay.
Jay.
Let him talk. I'll bring it back and answer Jesse's question. Go ahead, Jack.
All right,
I'll bring it full circle. You go ahead.
No, I was talking about I was about to disrupt, not what Jack was saying. I was about to disrupt and change. But
my goal is to somehow bring forth disclosure, to have the secrets revealed, and for the masses to have a wake up call.
I think this is relevant. J-Hub, again, his philosophy, and you made me think of that, Jack. You said authority. I gotta ask, what is authority? Is a cop
Jesse, can you mute yourself while you're driving?
I got it.
Is a cop authority? Anyone, everyone, please rattle it off really quick.
It's a position that's recognized with authority.
That's a yes. Anyone else?
Yes.
Yeah,
No,
it's
not
in
rule,
principle, but yes.
outside of yourself.
All right, Flo says yes. Who else was that?
No, I said no in principle, but yes in the fact that they're authorized to shoot me. You know, like,
okay, I understand. Who else?
No, I was saying it's rule outside of oneself, meaning you don't have your own authority.
Yes. So is there the authority out here for real? Like is the cop an authority person?
No.
Is he an authority figure?
No.
All right. Again, with the philosophy of J-Hub, and you too, Sarah, with that ID. I firmly believe that there is no authority, and the law will back me up that if you break no law, the cops, no one has authority over you. They are very clear of that. But when we start believing that these figures have authority, we allow these abuses to occur. And those things start with bowing to them and doing things like, yes, I'll just do what he said. You've encouraged his illusion of authority. It's not a good thing. In fact, it's extremely detrimental.
Yeah, it removes people's responsibility for their own actions.
Yeah.
But he's talking about exercising your rights, you know, and proving that there are boundaries, otherwise they'll be taken.
I am, yes. Every time, everyone must be a hero, patriot, and crush it. If you really want society and oligarchy to stop and all of that shit, you must kill that illusion that they love to present, that they are an authority and they have the wisdom above you. No, take it away. They are here to serve you. Get rid of all of that shit immediately, and you're off to the right fucking path.
I don't see them as above, but simply someone who's supposed to enforce a law that we all agreed on. And
no, we did it.
When they tried to take that law outside of what we intended it to be and interpret it as they want, or to do things beyond what they're supposed to do and create a supreme authority we did not give them, that is when they go into the ego.
I'm curious, Sarah, if some guy is on the corner and I don't know him. He hasn't been around my neighborhood. He doesn't look familiar to me. Let's say you, fuck it, you're on my corner, and I tell you, you don't look like you're from around here. Let me see your ID, or I want you to move. You can't park there. Would you even consider what I'm saying?
I mean, I've never been asked to do that because
That wasn't my question. Thank you.
I know. I don't know what I would do. I'd probably give you my ID and be like, see, I'm not doing anything wrong.
No, you would not give your ID to a perfect stranger. You would not. No one in their
I don't
right
know.
mind would. You're
I
smarter
tell
than
strangers
that.
my full name all the time.
Yeah, I don't believe that you would either.
Yes,
yeah.
You would not. You can say you would not.
I don't know.
The reason,
person.
this is the reason you're dodging, because you would do it for
because we have very different ideas.
You would do it for a cop. Therefore, your belief that he doesn't have authority doesn't hold. You wouldn't do it for a stranger, but you do it for a cop because you believe he has authority.
Strangers my IDs before.
That wasn't my question.
Well, hey, Joe. Fuck, oh dear.
Fuck, oh dear, what? She's an adult.
No, he just doesn't like the cop thing. Like I don't see anyone as above or below me, whether you're in uniform or not. I don't fucking care. You have no authority over me. The only person who has true authority over me is God.
Well,
why I could not tell you yesterday how long someone should go in
stop
prison.
for just a moment.
I don't actually know.
Please stop for just a moment. There's another side of this, which is simply cooperation with fellow human beings. Now, if they're in a costume, yep, sometimes they receive more cooperation. People obey and comply without really even questioning. But the idea of just being a nuisance and saying, no, you don't have to know anything about me, what the fuck good does that do?
I just explained to you. It does great good. You must stop the authority. You want to end wars.
Okay, Joe.
I wasn't done. I wasn't done.
You're repeating yourself? Go ahead.
You want to end wars, but you don't want to do the work that is required.
That's
it starts
bullshit
there.
Bullshit conclusion, because here, rather than be a dickhead to the lowly servant, the one out there in the streets trying to keep order and trying to keep people safe.
Oh, no. He doesn't get all that virtue smeared
However misguided, I'd rather deal with the bosses sitting fucking comfortable in an office, the ones who are sending people out to obey.
Who cares what you would rather do? Do you want this to stop or not? I'd rather sit on my ass and watch cartoons. But if I wanted to stop, I cannot ID.
If you wanted to stop, then human beings need to change, not just cops, because the cops, quite frankly, mirror society.
Look, cops have higher. Look, there are higher standards for cops. If you're carrying a gun and you get the benefit of the doubt and you have the right to use violence, you have a higher standard. That means if you're a cop and you're breaking the law, even if it's something trivial, you're in the wrong. That needs to be not allowed.
Right.
I don't have these interactions with cops, okay?
Right.
Yeah,
why they do this to you, I don't know. They don't do it with me.
Yes, if you kiss their ass and comply, why
I don't kiss their ass.
If you're
I treat them like a fucking human being. I don't stereotype them and think every last one of them is evil. Just like I don't look at a black man and say, oh, you must be fucking evil. No.
Why would they?
I don't do any of that. I look at an individual as an individual and I treat him as an individual. I do not stereotype someone just because they're wearing a fucking badge.
Yes.
Would you stereotype them if they had an SS on their shoulder?
Because
the uniform means something. Look, the uniform means something. They chose to put it on for a reason.
You must be an evil motherfucker. You have the symbol on your arm.
What the hell is this about?
An SS on your shoulder?
It's about her. She's just
no. I think there's a difference between areas where people don't run into that thing and what you guys are talking about are the Terry stops. The Terry stops is what you guys just need to explain, that there are places where you are giving out your ID when you did not break the law. Okay, you should not do this because they are breaking your First and Fourth Amendment.
The cop is breaking the law.
This is what you guys are talking about. But what Sarah is saying is that in her life, she doesn't experience those kinds of things. So in her realm, she doesn't just paint it in that light that she's.
We understand.
I know, but then why argue about it? She's just trying to state where she stands in it.
Yeah,
But are we
Right.
talking
and
about
it is
the
my job.
3802, the
Yeah.
What kind of
3802
a
law?
stance
No,
is
no
that?
Terry stops. Terry versus Ohio.
But look,
What
that's
about?
not a valid stance. Just because I've never been tased doesn't
No,
mean that it's
you're
okay if they
missing the
tase people in
point.
handcuffs. You know, like just
I'm
Yes,
not
that
doing
logic doesn't hold.
anything. People don't see me as a threat. Okay, I'm not out there whoring around. I'm not doing
I'm not
anything that
convinced that you would
implies that
know
I'm doing
when your rights
anything
are being
wrong for
violated.
anyone to even not want me to be there. I don't go into places that I know I'm not welcomed.
Right.
I stay out of trouble.
Right.
You
I just
are the
think that
greatest
I think
walking
this whole subject is
advertisement.
getting
And
conflated
we
onto Sarah. You know, when there is a
right.
subject at hand that doesn't necessarily pertain directly to Sarah.
Well,
exactly this
yeah.
fucking interrogation of these hypothetical imagined
You see an
scenarios. Joe,
interrogation.
chill
You
the
see an
fuck out.
interrogation. You're
Chill out,
afraid. I don't think she's as afraid as you are. I cannot chill
Joe.
out because I see no danger here. You do, right?
What,
I don't feel
really?
like I'm
You're not
doing no wrong.
projecting your animated behavior. What the fuck are you doing, dude? Chill out.
I thought I was just having a normal conversation with a chick, and this guy keeps saying, "Hey, what are you doing?" I have no idea what's happening here. I'm just talking to Sarah. I'm not trying to hurt her or
I
anything
know.
crazy.
I mean,
I know, Joe.
Jack,
and I'm
how are
not
you
You have
not
a
going to find
trigger
it
spot for
frustrating?
I'm
cops,
trying.
and because I'm not fully against every human cop, you think that I'm naive for just simply being a decent human
Yeah.
being to another
Your point was
person.
that it doesn't happen
Right.
to you.
Wait.
That's
First,
incredibly
let me come
selfish.
back to what she just
That's
accused me
exactly
of.
what you're
I
presenting.
would not be so simple as to think what you just accused me of thinking. Assume that I have other attentions and motivations here. It's not that I, whatever you think, oh, you just don't like cops, so blah, blah. I am not a simpleton. Don't base it down to that. It would be easy for you.
Rephrase the question.
All right, I'm talking about
Why
a
do you
philosophy
think?
here. Go ahead, Flo.
Why do you think that it has to happen to you for it to matter?
I don't think it has to happen to me for it
That
to
was the
matter.
point that you were just making. It never happens to
No,
me. I'm a little
no,
white girl.
that's not my point.
You
My
retreat
point
there every
is,
time we ask you a question and
my
get you somewhere.
point
You say
is
it hasn't
there
happened to
are a
me.
lot more interactions with cops that go unrecognized, far more, where absolutely nothing happens, no one's wrong, and no rights are infringed upon. But you don't see them blasted across the fucking internet. You only see the shit.
All right.
You think
And
that
you
you
have
see
a
most
false
of the times that
pattern
cops fuck with
recognition.
people?
She's
I know,
being a
I
voice
know
of
cops
reason. Just
fuck with people.
All right, let me
I
use
know they
some
do.
reasoning. Let me use
Okay?
some reasoning here, and I'm gonna tone it down a lot. I'm sorry, Jesse. I know you've been quiet.
I was just going to say, what about my question? I asked the question and only Joe answered it. I think Sarah wanted to answer. I'm not sure if anybody else had an answer for that.
I don't remember the question. I was
I
busy
don't remember that.
ganging
I
up on
wanted to
Sarah.
know about full disclosure, and the reason why they're not doing it is because people can't handle it.
Well, that's not the reason. That's an
No,
excuse.
that's what they're using as the reason for why they're not doing full disclosure.
Right. I disagree with that. I know they're saying that's the reason. I don't think it's a valid reason, and I don't think it's ultimately their reason. I think it's just their excuse.
Sarah, I want to explain to you. I'm sorry. I'm still on my mind. I don't have a problem with the cops per se. I am a loving person. I understand that they are just regular people. I have a problem with the system in general. I think it hurts people. And it sucks, but none of these laws and all the things they create can occur unless they have someone do the dirty work and actually go snatch you up. Sucks for cops that have that job. So I have a lot of complaints with them. What I wanted to say is that if you're a smart girl, and you should see the inherent conflicts. What they will tell you is that cops are there, and you'd probably say the same, to protect your rights. Right? Well, why is it that the most adept person in circumventing my rights is a cop? How is it that his language knows how to get my ID when I don't have to present it? How are they so adept at getting information out of you when you have the right to remain silent? Why aren't they telling you, listen, it's best that you remain silent, and not asking you those questions because they want your rights?
They literally tell you in the Miranda rights, you have the right to remain silent. Everything
they don't read those to you.
And say.
Yeah.
But you know it. You've heard it a million times. You know,
Why are you sticking up for cops violating people's rights?
I'm not sticking up
Because
for cops
yes,
violating
you
rights.
are.
I'm
Yes,
saying
you
that not
are.
all cops are fuckheads.
You
Okay.
just stood up for them violating people's rights. I just gave
Okay.
I'm
you an
not.
example.
Here.
Oh my God.
Look,
I'm
no,
not.
Sarah, let's play this game. Okay.
I agree.
If-
The system is fucking corrupted. Hear
Okay.
me. Listen
If
to
a
me.
cop
I am not
chooses to
saying
take a
cops are
job,
great. I'm saying human beings are not all fuck ups. And cops
if
are
a cop,
humans.
Yes, we get
There.
that.
Yeah, there you go. She won it right there. She won.
how?
Hey, that was the mic drop. She said human beings, not the cops. She said
Okay.
human
And
beings.
here,
Not
let me explain why she's wrong. Pick your mic back up. The reason that she's wrong, and this is not just all human beings are bad, is because when you're a cop, you choose to take a job enforcing rules. If the cop agrees with all of those rules, he's confused. If a cop doesn't agree with those rules, but still takes a job enforcing them, he's a prostitute.
There is literally nothing in this world that isn't corrupted. That every single thing you decide you want to do, you are a part of the corrupted world.
Okay,
So
That
how
is
is
a
that
weak
any different than
argument.
choosing to be a cop
I'll tell
and
you how
choosing
it's
to be
different.
someone on fucking YouTube?
It's
Who are
clear
you
that it's
talking to, me or
different.
her?
Just because you
Anyone
go
in
out and
general.
buy some meat or an Apple phone, you may be part of the system that because some kid is slaving in the mine somewhere. So you may be part of it, but you are very aware.
Everyone's
That's
a part of
different.
it.
But you're very aware. That's a different from someone like John Wayne Gacy who has 14 boys under the floor pouring concrete over him. You know that there's difference, and you know what's severe and what's not. Don't portray them all to be the same.
I miss
AJ.
something about 14 boys in concrete. I miss that.
A person who kills a bunch of people. You know, there's a difference between some guy who buys a fucking Apple phone at the store and a guy who murders people. You're trying to put cops on the same level as someone who eats a different vegetable from someplace. You're making bad comparisons.
Well, you were trying to compare slavery and weed yesterday and telling me they were the same thing. So
Damn.
I bet you. I don't even remember, but
Because
I bet
there's
you
a
my comparison
Come
was
on.
dope.
Yo,
I
you
bet
must
my
have been really
comparison was
high.
dope. I don't even remember it, Scott. I ain't gonna bullshit you, but I bet it was dope.
That was, that was
This is
probably
just
good
a trigger
conversation.
spot, okay? I know
That
you
was
don't
funny.
like the cops, and I have family that are cops, and I know that the system is fucking corrupted.
And we know that you're making concessions because you're family. That's fine.
I'm not making concessions because they're family. I also know that not every cop is corrupted. I know that there's a lot of cops that aren't part of the boys club that does all of these beatings and shit in the fucking challenges, all this crap.
Not every
Is there
school
such thing as
is
a
There
good pimp?
are separation and segregations where some people truly don't know this.
Are there good pimps?
How
What?
about this? There's corruption at many different levels in many different forms, but there is also the singularity of humanity. And I know we can get into the argument, well, there's those non-souled people and then there's those non-real people, but who fucking cares? There's people that we get to interact with, and we can bring blessings or we can bring curses, whether they're cops or government officials or road junkies, whatever.
Well, Jack, if you run into one of these people and you feel like, and they're telling you that vote for Biden, he's a great guy and he'll solve all your problems, wouldn't it be your duty to try and teach him why you at least think that he's wrong?
Joe, it's your duty to get
All
him
right, so
off the crack
understand
pipe.
that that's all we're doing here with Sarah. It is our duty. We are not attacking her. We're doing the same shit. We think she's very off, and it's the same shit you would tell the guy who's telling you Biden will solve all your problems. I'm going to donate my $1 million to him.
Let me.
I don't even understand the fact that me showing an ID is so horrific.
See, there you go. Look,
Why is it so horrific? Because I've literally shown my ID to strangers.
That's fine.
Not because they're like, hey, let me see your ID, but because we're just.
Do you want me to explain it to you? You want to keep talking about your stupid ID story?
No, she wants to act like we. Be nice.
I'm just saying, hey, this is a very niche subject that Sarah probably doesn't know a lot about, but it's a whole thing on YouTube that I know you two are very passionate about. I am too. I watch the First Amendment audits, the no ID, places, you know, I'm very passionate about it. That's why Sarah shouldn't be the one to try to rectify why people do and don't do it.
Sarah's the perfect one. She has officers in her family, a lot of them. Sarah's the perfect person for us to be talking to.
Yeah, but you know, there are a lot of dirty jobs out there, but somebody's got to do them. You know, it's
Someone
whether or
has to,
not that's an honorable person or a
what
bad person.
we're
Just like
doing.
there's a lot of gun owners out there, but there's also a lot of gun owners out there that kill people.
What was your
You
point
know,
there?
that everybody has a choice. You know, that it's more about the people than necessarily the institution. Yes, they have power to overthrow people, you know, and go over your First and Fourth Amendment rights, which is horrible, and that's something to definitely advocate for.
Jack,
You know,
Jack,
I'm just not seeing throwing the negative aspect of it at Sarah, who doesn't seem to, you know about that niche side of the
She's
realm.
perfectly intelligent enough to understand what the fuck's happening here.
Yeah,
She just
and
doesn't
hey,
want
hold
to.
on. Let me get something out. What I was trying to say here is how about you start cautioning yourselves and stop jumping to conclusions about what someone does or does not know, okay? Because I don't really see the fucking relevance, and maybe I missed it.
Yeah.
Can
Well,
I
maybe
play an
you just don't need to
example?
know about it.
Can
Like
you let him
I
finish?
wouldn't have said that if I wasn't confident in it.
Jack,
Same.
can I play an example in the back chat? Can you play it? It's a way you should deal with the cops. It's a young kid that's in law school that deals with the cops the right way.
I'm interested. I'm assuming he's.
Man, we changed this subject up quick.
I'm assuming he's gonna be.
You don't have to ID. If they're gonna force you to ID, they have to compel you. If they're gonna say, he just asked them, "Are you gonna arrest me if I don't?" And they can't say yes because that's coercion. It's force. It's under duress.
I don't think that some of us up here understand. Okay, go ahead. I'll wait.
Why is the cop even trying to get an ID? Why is
Because
this a
they're
big thing?
assholes, unfortunately.
Because they
What are
fish.
they gonna
They're
do with your
fishing.
ID?
Look
They're
for
gonna
warrants.
create a charge, a financial fucking obligation.
Man, Scott, god damn it.
Here, it's a few minutes.
It's very good.
All right, thank you. Officer said here that if I don't ID, I will be subject to arrest. Is that true?
Possible, yes.
Possible, yes or no? I need that ultimatum, or else I won't get my ID.
Okay, so technically, right now, yes, you could be arrested.
Could I need a yes or no? Like, I need you to tell me if you don't give me your ID right now, I'm gonna arrest you.
Why would I say that to you?
Because I need that ultimatum. Because right now you're asking,
Yes.
and I have the right to say no. Because you're asking. You're not. It's not a lawful order. I need you to make it a lawful
you're
order.
being detained for suspicion of minor in possession of alcohol.
Mhm.
You need to see your ID.
Okay, and if not,
And if not, you could be considered
Could?
concealing identity.
because New Mexico statute says that concealing of identity is a secondary charge. I would have to have been arrested or suspected of a crime.
No.
Right now, you hear just
You don't have to be
hearsay.
arrested or suspected. You're being suspected of having
On
possession.
what grounds?
Okay, so do you have any alcohol in your possession?
I don't answer questions. On what grounds?
Okay, so you don't have any alcohol in your possession.
On what grounds? I don't answer questions. On what ground? Yeah, that's our room, bro.
Are they on
Nah,
private
Yes, sir.
property?
They're trying to go in, bro. They're trying to ID.
What is the situation? Where are we at? This looks like a school or something.
It's a school dorm or a hotel, from what I understand.
And they're not allowed to be there unless they're called. So they're there for a reason. Someone asked them to be there.
Let's let
Maybe
this
they
play
walked
out.
That's not true.
We
First
can
of all, they're
assume
allowed-
they were called. There's a great percentage that the lady is right and that they're because they were called. Let's not argue that.
Okay, so
Somebody
if they're
said there was
there and that
underage
person
minors
was
drinking.
suspected, and aren't they allowed to ask for ID if he's
You're gonna
under
find
age,
out
so
right
that he
here.
can
No,
be
they're
delayed?
not.
Listen, here's what they're allowed to do. If they're good people, I'm sorry, not allowed what's under law. They ask once, the kid says no. If they are there to protect the kid's right, he has asserted them. If they are truly what they claim to be, you must find another line. You don't keep lying and trying to pressure him. You're going to go to jail if you don't give me your ID. That is never okay just because they were called.
I'm not saying I'll go to jail. I'm just saying if they're okay. I don't know the law here. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm truly asking.
All right, let's watch. Whatever you want to
Well,
ask.
yeah, let
If
this
I know,
play
I'll
out
help
because
you.
this law student hands them their ass. He doesn't. We don't
These
see
are-
the total end of it, but
These are good reminders. Oops.
ID me and shit, but nah.
Okay, so who are you talking to?
I'm recording you.
You're recording. Okay, very good. Yeah, if you want to hang up, then you can. That's fine. So here's the deal. By saying could, what we're trying to do is we're trying to be cooperative with you and have you be cooperative with us and help us clear this matter up.
Okay, I gave him my name, Joel.
What's your last name?
You don't need my last name and you do not need my date of birth unless you want to run me for unless you want to run my name through your system. Are you trying to run my name through the system?
You have warrants for your arrest?
I don't answer questions. I don't answer questions. I'm asking questions. I don't. It's my Fifth Amendment. Is it or is it not?
Okay. So the question is that like the officer told you, you're being suspected of having possession of alcohol underage. So in that case, the easiest way to prevent this is for you to let us know. Either you guys, somebody saw you carry a case of beer. You have a case of beer in your possession?
I don't answer questions.
All right. So the next step in this process would be, would you give us consent to check your room?
Nope.
To make sure that you have no alcohol in your possession?
Nope. I do not consent to any searches nor seizures.
Okay, very good. All right. This is completely up to you how you want to play this.
You could get a warrant, or you could, or you have probable cause. Go ahead.
Right now, we do have reasonable suspicion that possibly a crime had been committed. We're trying to investigate that. You're certainly welcome to refuse if you wish.
I know.
But we need to ID you.
Or
and if you do not present your identification, you can face a non-traffic citation.
You're saying could. I need you to say you will.
I'm giving you the opportunity to.
No, I need that ultimatum. I will give you my ID if you say that I'm going to go get arrested if I don't give it to you.
So you'll give us if we say that?
If you say that, yes, sir. Because that's already grounds for me to set up litigation against you.
So you're threatening to sue us?
I ain't threatening nothing, brother.
That's what you just said.
It's not a threat.
It gives you grounds.
It's not a threat. It gives me grounds. Does it or does it not? I don't answer questions.
Okay, so the easiest and simplest solution to this is for you to tell us your name, date of birth.
Joel.
Joel what?
Joel.
Okay, by just saying Joel, there's 1,000 Joels. I need a last name and date of birth.
For what? You're gonna run? I told you want my name.
For the report.
Date of birth proves whether or
I didn't even have to give you my first name for that report. You could literally put.
What's that?
A simple. The date of birth will prove whether or not he's of age. They don't have to run anything. Just a simple math
If
equation.
he's suspected of a crime, do they have
He's
RAS or
suspected
SAF?
of possession of alcohol as of underage.
Give me a
The date of
single.
birth will prove whether or not he is of legal age.
Give me a single articulable fact that he has committed a crime or reasonable articulable suspicion.
Clearly, the cops have none.
They want to run his name for warrants as well.
There you
That's
go.
what they want. Let's be clear.
They
Hold
want to
on,
see
we're-
what they can
we're
build
almost-
against him.
We're almost through this. Let's get through
Build
the
a case time.
end and
With the citizen or the guy or the suspect. Yes, you can. Yes, it does. I'm a law student here. You're not gonna come over here and try to violate my rights.
So I'm not trying to violate your rights. I'm trying to be cooperative with you, and you be cooperative.
Okay, I'm cooperate with me and said that I'm not gonna give my ID unless I'm gonna get arrested. Say it and I'll give you my ID. Just say if you don't give me your ID, I'm gonna arrest you.
So you want us to threaten
You want us to
Yes, I want you to give me that ultimatum if you really want the ID. Why? Because you know you can't. You know you don't have that ultimatum. You know you can because you know that opens up for litigation.
By a call. They're literally there. They didn't see him with anything. They were called to go investigate.
Did you guys catch what just happened? He said right there at the end. So you want us to threaten you, and that's what it is. They can't do that.
Sarah, you're
That was
wrong.
a good video. That was a
Okay.
good video.
Someone, okay.
Just because they do things like that all the time doesn't mean they're right. It means that they
I'm not-
just violate rights all the time, and you're
can't-
used to it.
No,
Some
they can
cops
ask for an ID. There's nothing illegal with that.
Agreed.
But you
He
don't
can
have to
refuse.
answer
Let her
them. Some
finish.
cops
He
don't
Let her
have
refused
time.
to
finish,
give his
guys.
ID. As he said, he's not giving the ultimatum because he can't arrest them. He's just trying to do his job. He was called
Well,
in
once
there.
he gets that
to
ID, he can
investigate
arrest
this
him if there's a
thing.
warrant.
You guys make a
Well,
lot of assumptions. This is just a random kid.
You're the one who
who's
assumed
probably
he was
underage
called.
with alcohol, and somebody else called it in. The cops weren't like, "Hey, I'm walking around the halls. I saw this dude. I think he's
Yeah.
underage. I'm gonna go try and nail him."
Hey, Sarah,
You
I
have
think
this
I can
hard on
prove.
that every cop is out to fucking get you.
I
That's
think
their
I can
job.
prove, if I get
It
a
comes
second
down
here
to-
uninterrupted, I think I can prove, Sarah, that you have you're torn here. If you really care about the person, which most of us activists do, we put the people first. What advice would you give that person when a cop walks up to him? If you gave him $100,000 lawyer, what would that lawyer say? That lawyer would say, "Do not say a word." If
Shut
you really
the
care
fuck
about,
up.
if you really care
I'm not
about this,
saying what the
wait,
kid
wait,
did
wait. I'm
was
not done. I'm
wrong.
not done. I'm not done. That lawyer would say, "Don't say a word." But other people would jump on the cop side and say that
it's okay for him to pressure the kid. The kid could be guilty of a thing. Which side are you on?
I'm not on either of those sides.
Pick one. Shit.
I don't need to.
You should.
Because
Here.
it will depend on every situation. I'm not going to pick a side, blanket slate, like this is where it's going to be every fucking time. Everything is situational.
Sarah,
you have
excuse
very
me.
limited information. You have nothing but assumptions.
Can I
I don't need all those things.
Can
I'm
I
going
try
I'm
and
going on
say
good.
something here?
Yeah,
one
go ahead.
one of the things that Sarah, this is a reminder for me is it's pretty obvious. Freedom means being able to be without the requirement of papers, just because someone says. And I tend to agree with you. These guys were likely reporting for a call. It could have been as simple as see the ID. Oh, you're of age. Hey, have a good night. Keep your shit down.
Exactly.
But I also understand the other side that,
Right.
it is time for people to stop just being so free with compliance with,
Jack, can I make a point real quick?
Well, Jack was on. I want to go ahead.
Well, I mean, I thought he made, my point is we have a constitutional
Why wouldn't you? Were you done, Jack?
We have a.
Yeah.
I guess you are now.
Excuse me, Flo State. I didn't mean to stop on him. I thought he
Yeah.
was finished with that point. I was just going to add to what he said is we have constitutional protections against illegal searches and seizure, and asking me for my name or anything on my person is an illegal search unless they have reasonable articulable suspicion or a single articulable fact that I've either committed a crime, I'm about to commit a crime, or
In the
there is a
process
crime.
of committing it.
So
Right.
didn't the
There's a
cop
crime
say
happening.
he had reasonable suspicion? They
No,
were called to be there. Yeah, he said we have suspicion.
No,
but
they
they
have
didn't have
to have
enough
it.
to
They have to have
actually
seen it, not somebody
arrest
else's
him.
hearsay.
That's hearsay. That's not reasonable suspicion. If you
Okay,
just
well
got a
then
call.
almost every fucking thing is hearsay because
Until
the
the
only
cop
reason I
sees
see
it,
a
you're
lot of cops.
goddamn right. Until
That's
he sees
exactly
it himself.
Okay,
right.
then I guess everyone. Then why even have 911?
He
Takes them to
comes
see
there.
something.
They have the law that tells you come there. These are the steps you take to investigate before you detain and arrest
You look
people.
for
You
evidence.
That's what they were
investigate
doing.
and
They
see
were
if that call. No,
And that kid
they
stood his
were.
ground.
They were.
They received a
trying to-
call.
They
a
were being
call.
lazy rather than investigate. I'm sorry, I interrupted you so bad right there.
Okay, they literally weren't there, so they couldn't see it. All they have is someone calling in and saying this, this, and this.
So they
okay?
must come and investigate.
So
That
they
is
have
what
to
the
have an
law
investigation.
tells
That's all they were doing.
But the
Okay?
law also tells them how they can do it, what procedures they can do. One of them is, and one that we all know is that you cannot get an ID from a guy unless you have reasonable suspicion that this guy has is committing or
Okay,
about to
so
commit a
what's
criminal
considered
offense.
reasonable suspicion? Because
Uh,
I would think that someone calling in and saying this would be reasonable suspicion.
That is
so
called
what is that
hearsay.
considered?
If they
For
came
somebody-
there and they had a eyewitness, if they came there and found videotape, if they found evidence like his car dented and his car dented, now you've investigated, you found reasonable evidence to force him to ID and do these things. You must do that first. They got a really good DHS memo on it that tell you if you can't do those things, sit back and observe.
The level of crime is going to dictate what kind of fucking, force they're going to use to try and get that too. If there's a murder and they know that somebody's in a fucking apartment, they're going to go a little bit more forceful. But if we're talking about just underage drinking, that kid stood his ground. And I think he did a really good job of saying, hey, listen, if you're going to threaten me, I'll do what you say. But until then, do you have anything? And that's what they didn't have, is something that they could
I
hold.
see nothing wrong with both sides that happened there. They were asking for
don't either.
consent.
I
They
think
were
it's
not
a game of
forcing the
chess.
kid
Most
rights and didn't
people
show us
lose.
ID. End of day.
You think it's okay though for them to, even though it's his right not to present ID, for them to tell him you can go to jail if you don't present it, which is a
Which is
lie.
a lie. Yes, it's
Did
okay.
they
You don't
say that?
think
Did I miss
if
that?
they lied to get this ID,
Did they
their
did they
job
say that?
is to
Did I miss
protect.
that if they
Their
did?
job is to protect them. Yes, they told him that you could go
Well,
to
they
jail. He
said
asked
you
him about
could.
5 times. Will
Yeah.
I go to jail?
Okay.
You could go to jail. Will I go to jail? You could go to jail. You absolutely could go to
If
jail.
he's underage and they find actual evidence, he will go to jail. But because they don't have it, he can't take them at that time. So he
Yes,
could,
so
in the future, go to
yes.
jail.
So
That's
after
not
the
a
kid
lie. That's
says,
not a false statement.
after
Is
the
it a
kid
good
says,
thing?
Yeah,
No,
but Joe,
that's
if he was breaking the law, wouldn't they have arrested him right there?
of
Well, the
course
Yeah.
they would have. Me
the-
and you know that.
And he would have already been
Me and you know that.
under arrest. They asked for ID after the fact
The
because
identification thing was
they
a
need some
secondary
right.
charge.
They
he
need
said.
something extra. So in this particular instance, it showed low decision value to go after the guy's ID when you knew you didn't have anything on him.
It shows that you're intentionally being evil because you're hoping he doesn't know his
In that
rights.
circumstance.
Oh my
In
God.
that
In that
circumstance,
No,
very
he's
good.
Grooming
If
Yes.
you're
don't
trying
think
to trick
that
and coerce
intention,
somebody, you're
Hey,
trying
Yes.
to trick and coerce somebody into voluntarily letting you do something that you don't have the right to do.
Not only that,
And
your
then
job
you're-
is to protect those
Okay,
rights.
so-
That is why we pay
so
you,
rather
and
than-
you're out here tricking people out of them. It's
How
horrible.
about rather than complain, what do we do? I mean,
we
yep,
teach Sarah where the law starts and stops
Yes,
and
we're
proper
doing
morals.
what we do right now. When a
Yeah,
person
it's
doesn't
not
understand,
enough.
we
It's
take.
not enough.
Well, that's where the beginning is. We try to enlighten a person, so we take the veil from in
After
front
that,
of their eyes.
we organize
That's
coordinated
what,
attacks
this is
on all
what
the
it
police
looks like.
stations.
If it was comfortable and easy, she'd have been solved these things. The process. This is what it looks like, man.
I think it'll be a lot easier, like Jack was kind of saying too, is you know, work on getting that change to where they not just able to ask, that like you said, they basically do an investigation. Him giving his age would literally, you know, set itself up for failure. So, but he doesn't have to do that. I agree with everything y'all saying on this video.
When you say they're doing an investigation, I think everything they're doing from Jump Street to building a case against you, no matter if you're
Yeah.
innocent or guilty, they're trying to figure out, is it a broken tail light? Is there tint that's too fucked up on this? They're literally trying to collect money.
There are people out
Their
there with guns
employees
on taxpayer
doing what they
dollars
think
whose
is
job
right.
is to try to find ways to fuck with people. It's predatory and it doesn't make people more safe.
It's
That's the
clearly
problem.
predatory. That's why
No,
people
it's
tense
Does
up when a
anyone know
cop
how
is
old the kid
behind them.
was? Is he of legal age?
It doesn't matter to the
It
point.
does matter.
It's-
Did he
What?
commit a crime?
How
Wait,
would
wait,
they
wait,
matter?
wait. Is there a
Can
victim?
I'd
Did
like
he
to.
commit a crime? Does
How
anyone know
old?
how old the
Who
fucking kid
knows?
is?
Here's
I
so.
think
Who
what
knows?
Sarah's saying too is like I agree with everything that y'all are saying, but it's like it's always promoting people that are promoted by people that are doing criminal acts,
Yeah.
that are doing something wrong.
Well, I
We,
break
we
no
let's
got
be
laws.
honest.
being
I
trafficked
break
in this
no laws.
country.
I don't
and
even jaywalk, bro. The one time I did in Arizona, I got a fucking jaywalking ticket. I break no laws, and I'm promoting this, and I haven't broken any for a long time. Actually, I've smoked weed illegally in a bunch of states, so maybe there's at least one law.
Oh, I don't know. If
It's
you
some
don't,
low hanging fruit bullshit that they're going after here when we got real crimes going on in this fucking world.
Here's the
I can
there's
agree.
some-
I agree with that.
let's-
They
There's some
building the
truth to
case the
what
whole
you're
time.
saying. What you're saying, J Hub. There's a saying that he who has much to lose cannot affect change. The more houses you got, and the more connected you are, you cannot affect change. You're not good for it. However, the homeless guy or the guy who runs the street, he has little to lose, so he will be the one speaking up. There is logic in what you're saying.
Yeah, they don't
No, I
listen to
think-
that guy though for some
yeah.
reason.
No,
So
I think no, I think the point I was trying to make earlier is like trying to teach every person, to individually argue back all of these points and watch these videos to understand how to talk to the cops.
Yeah.
That's a lot harder than, I think it should be easy to present a case or something to the
I
police
agree.
department
Hey,
or
I
whatever
heard
and say,
Sarah.
hey,
No,
you can't illegally investigate, asking questions, like
yes.
that's the real solution,
hey,
uh,
along those,
to me.
sorry to
I feel like.
interrupt.
No, you're
J-Hub,
right, Jay, and I got
along
some
those
good progress
lines,
for you if
Joe
you come
Cool,
back to
you
it
sent
later.
me a clip. Did
Yeah.
you want to talk about the clip you
I'm
sent
sure I
me
do.
or
I don't
not?
remember what it was, but yes. What was it about? Yeah, let's watch it.
How to get
What was
out of
it?
jail free.
I don't remember, but let's see it. That's that weed shit.
Some good weed.
It is really
Sheldon
good.
Rich, can you just go ahead and put your phones right on over there? The K9 did alert on the vehicle. You have anything on you?
I got some like some money in my pocket.
Okay.
A pack of rubber bands.
All right. You don't have any knives or anything, any guns or anything?
No.
All right. Go ahead and step out of the vehicle for me. All right. Face away from me. We're stepping out. Put your hands on the vehicle. I'm gonna pat you down for any weapons. Okay? Anything picking from you, Pokey? What's that in your back? In that pocket right there?
Oh, that's cigars and look.
All right. If you don't mind emptying your pockets.
Huh?
If you don't mind, you empty out your pockets.
Huh?
You ain't got to do that. Don't give them consent to go in your pocket. Tell them you don't consent to the search.
I don't consent to the search.
That's fine. Go ahead and sit back with him.
But I ain't got that.
Sarah,
it.
I'm
No
curious
one,
if the
nothing's
guy
being forced
walked up.
there. He's literally asking.
If the guy
That's
walked
good.
And
up to
when he
you on the
didn't have consent, the cop said, okay.
Sarah,
That's good.
if the guy walked up to you
No,
on
but
the
it's a
sidewalk
setup.
and asked you to do all those things, went in your pocket, pulled you out your car, would you comply with those things from a stranger? You
I
believe
mean,
cops have authority.
Right.
That cop did not have the authority to do that. You believe he does. He did not. There was no law being broken. That's clear because he told the guy, all right, go stand over there. You believe he had authority, though. He does not. It's an
he's
illusion.
asking consent.
These are the
If
people
I
that are
ask
supposed to
you,
be
are you gonna
protecting
let
us,
me
You can
go in
say
there?
tricking
no.
us out of
You
These are the
position.
maids and butlers who are strapped now. What the fuck? The public servants are carrying around guns and throwing hot lead.
Well,
What?
the passengers aren't supposed. The passengers aren't supposed to be part of the stop.
He knows that.
Yeah, the cop knows all the things that he's doing that are wrong. He's still trying to trap people in their own ignorance. Now, that is
Hunting and
not,
fishing.
that's completely against the spirit of what law enforcement is supposed to do, which is protect people.
It
Yeah, they're
worries
hunting
me
and
when
fishing.
people say, but it's not against the law. It tells
I
me
know.
where their heart is now. Be careful
Yeah.
of that argument.
Like, Jack, we're never going to end wars with people who just don't give a fuck about cops being predatory.
Exactly. This is the bottom
That
rung
was
of
my
that
point
ladder.
earlier.
And people who care about people. I mean, it's
We care about people. We wouldn't be going
That's
through all this
exactly what
shit with
they're
Sarah.
doing.
Everyone has their narrow view of what that means.
Holy
the police
shit.
officers, I'm sure they care for their family. I'm sure
We
they
have
care
more
for a
they
people
lot
do
of
in prison
too.
people
in
Yeah.
this
in their
country
life.
than any other
I'm
But
country.
you
sure
want
they
to
do.
present them
Yeah.
as evil because they've assumed a role in this society.
Yes,
No,
Why
no,
they
not?
I'm not
chose a
calling them
role
evil.
that's
There are no
They
good and bad people.
and
The act
you know
is
what?
evil, though,
Let's
not
stop
the person.
bitching and complaining and gossiping, and let's find a way to offer alternatives. Right? So these people, seriously, these law enforcement, whatever you think of them, many of these people in those careers, whatever their intentions are, for them to wake up and to say, no, I can't do this anymore, they've got to, it means walking away from the teat of the employer. We live in wage slavery where
No, we don't.
everyone has been obedient to the almighty dollar.
The problem is
So,
people don't have morals, right, Jack?
That's the
Can I chime
biggest
in?
one.
Okay, that's what we're addressing is morals.
So I think, Jack, you're giving them a pass on the moral shit because you're saying, hey, they got to pay their
No.
bills.
Hey, Jesse wanted
Watch your sound, Jess.
So I
So-
wanted to chime in on this discussion. So I think you guys are on two different parts of the spectrum, but both on the same wavelength. How we've got to stop the, insanity, right? So
Okay,
there's
yeah.
ground soldiers like Joe that, are dealing with the cops and, what they're doing and the injustices that they're doing. But then there's Jack's side that he wants to deal with the politicians.
Thank you, Jesse.
And making the laws to making sure that the laws are. So it's both, you guys are like, it's
right.
almost like you're arguing, but you're arguing the same points. It's just different ends of the spectrum.
Yes.
None would not. One is more valuable than the other. Both are equally as important, but they're
I
just two
thank you.
different sides of this argument.
Thank you for that, Jesse. However, I do think it is me and Flo's duty to keep trying to enlighten motherfuckers. But I thank you for that. I will be a lot less judgmental on all of that shit. Keep it out in mind because they are warriors. They're fighting a battle like I'm fighting mine. Mine is not more important than theirs. I got to keep that in mind. Yeah.
Well said, Jesse.
Hey, I want to toss, I don't remember what you you jump to a conclusion that I support something, but here's where I'm at. Or I don't blame the law enforcement. I'm not making excuses for them, but just like,
well, if you don't blame them, then you are making excuses for them.
I have the same views of abortion.
That was
It's
dope.
not something I support, but in this insane world, I think it's something that
you're literally making excuses.
Oh,
Either people are responsible. People are responsible for their actions. It doesn't matter what their job is. It doesn't matter what
that's
their
why I want him to finish that sentence. In this
Right.
insane world, what? In this insane world, what? I was dying to hear the rest of that sentence. They what?
Well,
Cops can do it.
In regards to abortion in this insane world, I don't judge the women who make that choice.
I hear where you're going with that. But I can't judge them like God judged them, but I will come down on the side of it's clearly wrong what they're doing. I can't judge them like God. They will pay no price for me, but my opinion, it's clearly and logically wrong.
Same with the cops. They're making choices that maybe I hope I would not make. Same with some of these politicians. They make choices I sure hope I wouldn't be foolish enough to make. But we live in a world where everyone's walking around all egoic and proud, like they're doing so much and they've accomplished so much.
Well, I'm not helping.
No one's taking accountability or responsibility.
And you're helping them not take it. And Sarah's helping them not
Read
take
my
it.
mind, bro.
That's not what we're doing.
In your imagined scenarios, what the fuck?
Jack, that's not.
I'm aware that cops do shitty things, and you think that they are infringing on your rights just by asking for an ID.
No,
okay.
No one said that. Why would you put our shit there? Our shit said.
Then why are you showing me this video? You're telling me that he's infringing on his rights by asking for an ID.
Sarah, it's okay for you to interrupt me. Why would you reduce our argument to just saying he asked one time? State the full thing. He asked, the kid said no. He asked again. He told him, you can go to jail if you keep saying no. That's what occurred there. And you're acting like you don't even see it.
But he didn't have your tone.
Why are you supporting douchey behavior? It doesn't matter if it's illegal or if you can find a way to do mental gymnastics and make it not a lie.
On the real douchey behavior, which is these fucking billionaires that are robbing the society. Not only from the employers.
You're going top down. They're thinking bottom up.
I'm going to start cleaning
I think you guys hear different tones in these voices.
We got to do both, Jack.
What I saw is the chat comment that said, well, my life isn't affected.
Everybody take 5 seconds. Let's hear Jack for a minute. Jack, why don't you tell us what you really think about this?
I'm ready to wrap it up. I'll do.
I know you are, but I want to hear your opinion on this.
You should do what you did, Flo.
That's fine. But Jack, I request that you just play the link I dropped in the back. It's like 10 seconds. Play that.
I wanted to ask that. I'm sorry. Hold on.
My mode is fine.
It's a totally different change. It's a shift in topic. I think it'll just be a good, happy note to close on because it's funny.
I think you're right. Here.
Okay.
Wake up down there, Jack. Wake up.
Jack, would more blowjobs lead to world peace?
I think it's worth a try.
You're my hero, Jack. You're fucking. That's awesome.
That was the perfect response.
I do have a question. If the cops were called, which they were, and they have no evidence, what are the cops supposed to do?
Go look for a real crime.
Very good.
How are they supposed? They literally were asking for consent to come in to see the evidence. What else are they supposed to do?
Very good. When someone says no, the first thing they do is respect that person and their rights. Your job is to protect them, not circumvent them. And they do provide things for them to do. If they do have a degree of concern and they have the rules, what make them think they would be concerned, then you stand off and watch. You observe because you're breaking no rights there. But usually there are steps that they can take. They go look for witnesses, knock on other doors if this dude doesn't want to help. And let's face it, why would you help in an investigation where you could go to jail? Your lawyer would say, no, never do it. I would tell my kid, don't say a fucking word. Who was up here saying, go ahead, just do it. Just say it. He don't love
So
that
then
kid.
what is the cop supposed to do? Just leave, and then the person that called the cop, you tell them what? Sorry, we didn't find
That's
anything.
what he did anyway, and he could have did
Yeah,
it
and
without
that's what they're
violating people's
supposed to do,
rights.
for
Yes,
sure.
So
that's
the
what he
cop,
does.
that sounds like to me they didn't do anything wrong. They literally gave the guy consent to say no. They didn't arrest him, and they left.
How do you not see that implied when the figure of authority, because you guys keep giving them this illusion of authority, it implies a thing. Certainly, if they says you could go to jail, you're no longer just asking. This is an armed individual
What
who's
about a
cop.
kid that doesn't
Your life
know?
is in his hands. Your freedom's in his hands. It's not. And stop acting like it's some guy on the street asking you. This isn't, a heavy situation. He should shut the fuck up.
That kid knew what he was talking about, and luckily he knew how to handle it, and it taught us a little bit. But what about if it was his buddies who didn't know how to handle it? He wasn't there, and those kids all let him in. They had some alcohol. Now they're all going to jail.
Well, that's not a good one. She's happy. She's like their kids. They shouldn't have alcohol. Job done. What the fuck are you talking about? You
ruin
set
the
her
rest
with
of
a
their
layup
lives
right
because
there.
they got a fucking case of beer, and some nosy little lady up the hall fucking saw him, called up and snitched on him. And now we have guns and badges and people trying to ruin their lives over what? What they were going to do? Watch fucking Ghostbusters?
That's why I don't like cops, because their rules allow for you to ruin people's lives over minor shit like that.
think
You
the
tell
person
their
you
parents,
should
let
be
their
upset
parents
with here,
deal
like
with it.
Scott's saying, is the person that called it in.
What about
The cops were just doing their job.
Their job is to fuck people up. That's the problem with them.
You should be mad at the person that called it in.
No, I'm
Their
mad at the
job is to
people.
protect his rights. Did you see him doing that, Sarah? That is their job. Did you see him protecting his right not to ID, or did you see him trying to circumvent that right?
I saw him
Hey.
accepting his no.
You
To
saw
not
him accept
provide
his no?
Did you
ID.
not see
He
that
said
he was
no.
trying to ensure safety for others? I mean,
I do
the
not see
idea.
that.
I
I see
mean,
no
they
safety
say
being
People who
enforced.
give
Yeah,
up,
of course.
you know what they say about people who give up their freedoms for safety, right?
Yep.
They
Yep.
get fucked in the ass.
That's not what I was saying at
Hey,
all,
Jack.
but whatever.
Hey, Jack, let me say this before I jump off. I mean, even when you look at the cops, right, it's just a job at the end of the day, what they're doing, right? It's a job role, right? And some would say they abuse it, some would say the other. But I look at it like this now, Jack, right? You got doctors, you have people that do construction work, right? Who may skip on some type of material money and the building comes tumbling down, people die inside, right? You have doctors that do their job and they do a different type of surgery and it kills people. You have police that do their job the right way. You have police do their job the wrong way. At the end of the day, you're all fucking humans, and I'll leave it right there. Peace out. Much love.
That's a good place to leave it, bro.
It's different when your job is to
Hell yeah.
collapse buildings, for instance.
Power is
Oh.
corrupting these people at astonishing rates these days because money is the I mean, it literally is the object.
I hate everybody but Joe.
There is a positive community that's trying to help in this fashion with the First Amendment audits. If anybody's interested,
I'm interested.
they go into public places and they film just to show that they can film the police too, because you should always film, because that will hold them accountable and they're less likely to do these things if you're filming them.
You know what? I'm
It's-
interested. I'd like to start doing that, man. So
yeah,
make
it's
sure you
perfectly
contact
legal. They go into like public offices, like post offices, stuff like that, and they film. And then when the cops come, they try to Terry stop them and get their ID so they can run them for warrants. And then you give consent. So that's a positive aspect that people can
What
go
do you
look up.
think of these guys?
If-
True
if-
patriots. These guys sound
if-
like true patriots to me, Tony. What do you think?
Yeah, I believe they're trying to make sure that our rights don't get infringed on.
All right.
But I still, on the other side, have the utmost faith in people, and I know there are officers out there that are really good people that really do help their communities, always do the right thing. So I always look at it just like everyone says, at an objective and subjective information.
I
Just like
appreciate
there
it.
are people who may call the cops and go, hey, this guy's got an AK-47 when
Yeah.
they don't. And then the cops come weapons drawn and shoot at the guy because somebody lied on the phone because they were upset. So
Yeah.
yes, you do have to assess the situation accurately. If you move in illegal aggression forward after that, you're kind of stepping over the limit. So that's when the guy had to exercise his rights and say, no, I don't feel like them being stepped on, and was perfectly within his bounds. And when the cop walked away, he was amazing in the fact that he gets an A+ for effort because he didn't try to infringe on his rights further.
That cop,
So
yes. You saw the
yes,
first
All right.
cop in
yes,
France,
Are we
right?
wrapping up?
yes, and
All
I've seen
right.
all the horrible ones
My
too
bad.
because I've watched no less than a few hundred hours of the First Amendment audit guys. So it is a good aspect that people can go look at and get the accurate information themselves. Now, Jack, if you don't mind, I did want to talk about what you were talking about the first part of the episode. I got to get it out quick. I don't want anybody to interrupt me, but there are some aspects what you were talking about growing your channel into a whole wide range of subjects that I know you would fall in love with. So if there was a time I could talk with you later about that, I know that you would love some of the information I've ran into about that. Sorry, I
No, 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 no.
I
I
yield.
would be in
Don't
on that
apologize for
conversation.
good
I'd
shit.
be willing to help Jack grow his channel. I'm sure I could help.
Right. Well, okay. If people are into that at the moment, then there's a whole aspect of what Jack is coming at with is a purely love and bliss situation, and clearly Jack has had the ability to tap into bliss.
Okay.
You know, and I have myself. You know, I like spitting out information because I remember it well. I have a photographic memory. You know, I kind of like being a Rolodex of information of all the things that I've read in my life, and I can spit it out and access it very well. You know, and I've had this up until a point because I always kind of denied my spiritual aspect of things because I was just trying to find the truth of the world, and I had a complete disconnect from my spiritual aspect.
Yeah, I
Okay.
understand. Yeah.
And then as soon as I found my meaning in the spiritual aspect of these things, I am telling you, it actually increased my abilities quite a bit to a rate that I don't even want to talk to everybody about my experiences because I would sound like a crazy person. I've brought it up to other people. I'm not going to get looked at as a nut, but I just know where I'm at, and I'm trying to get a lot further in my information and progression. And it's coming closer to what Jack is talking about than everybody else. That is a love for other people. You know, forget any religion paradigm or that. Just have love for other people. Can you be in a hard density and still love your enemies?
I
You
think
know,
that's
can you rectify your own karma here in this existence so that you can know your other selves and rectify their karma? Then you don't have to come back.
very good. I would agree with all of that, bro.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you very much. Yes, that is the lesson that I'm trying to get across is love. The energy of love, the power, the mystery. And Tony, I dropped my number and email in the back. If anyone wants to reach me, please.
Hey, Jack, I got a good acronym for you. Love. Let's overcome violence everywhere.
Amen. I love that.
How about that?
No,
Yes,
no.
Flo. Yes. Just say
I
yes.
reserve my right to be violent at people.
Fuck you. That's wrong.
Hey, everybody needs the anti-equation.
Well, we'll let that happen for the people in prison. That's a fun place to be violent.
Well, hey, then we're forced
It's
with
more
the
fun on
burden
the
of proof,
outside.
you know, just like what they said at
You know,
first. If you stand there, prove it. Okay, cool. Awesome. I love it.
What if the future holds opportunities for us? What if the future of humanity is one of abundance, of peace,
Jack, the
prosperity?
future is nothing but fucking space and opportunity for you. That's all it is. That's everything
He's talking
it
about
is
in
for
the
you.
sense we were talking about other earlier. Does it get better and worse and all of that? He's saying,
That's
what if
up
it
to
does
you.
get better?
That's up to you, bro. Whether it gets
Well-
better is completely in your hands. Look, God's in the mirror. If you can't see God in the mirror, you can't see him anywhere else.
I see him in you.
Hey, amen. And that's what there's a lot of stories in the Bible. We touched on this topic earlier. There's a lot of stories in the Bible about God using people through the darkness, through the challenges to come forth for greater things. And I think there's a story happening here, maybe in your life too.
If somebody got the YouTube open, be careful.
I only did that once, Joe.
I don't know. Hey, with good feelings and good intentions, I do feel like wrapping this up, though. I feel fulfilled for today, and I thank you guys.
All right, I feel like getting my horror on. I'm going to find another panel.
Respect, Joe. Thanks for joining. Who else? Someone dropped. Thank you,
Jack. Thanks for having me. It was good evening. Good evening to the rest of you, and good night.
Scott. God bless you, brother. Thank you. Sarah, J Hub, Jesse.
Thanks, Jack.
Sarah, thank you. Hey, I do. Let me please. Thank you. You got kind of put on the spot and on the hot seat for a representation of an idea. This is an interesting life we're living in. The people in the role of law enforcement, they've gotten a lot of, you know what? There's a lot of confused people, and we are all on our own individual paths. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate and respect the wisdom and strength you bring.
Thanks, Jack.
Have a good night. Whoops. What did I do there? J Hub, Scott, Jesse.
No, thanks, man. Appreciate it. See y'all next time.
All right, respect. Thank you, my friend.
Have a good one, bro. I think I said goodbye, but I was in the back looking at another
Oh,
channel.
that's what I did. Yeah, you're already up. Thank you, Scott. Tony, thank you, my friend.
Absolutely. No, I was just saying sorry I booted myself by accident.
No, I wanted to thank you as well. Welcome. I appreciate your joining, your perspectives, and your encouragement. They were very well received. Okay.
Thank you, Jack. I appreciate that. And I see what path you're on, and I was looking for the same myself, and I think I can help out.
I'd love to talk. Please,
Cool.
let's connect again later. Have a beautiful night, my friend. And Jesse, you as well. My sincere and heartfelt gratitude for what you've been with me. Okay. Appreciate you, Jesse.
Jack, it's a wild ride that we're on. You know, it seems like kind of we're all on the kind of the same journey where we want the same goals, we want the same things, but everybody's on different missions. And sometimes people are arguing which mission is more important and who's more justified in their mission, but we all want the same goal. So butting heads when we're all kind of looking for that same thing is where we have to like kind of look where we're at, look in the mirror and say, hey, I think we want the same thing, even though we're, you know, going about it a little bit differently. And none is more important than the other, and none is less important than the other. We're all equally playing our part into making this world a better place. And as long as that is the ultimate mission, is the ultimate goal, then, you know, for our mission, then, you know, we're all going to come together and this world will become a better place.
Amen, brother. Well said. Jesse, thank you again. I'm going to toss you and wrap up here. Brothers and sisters, thank you. Thank you sincerely to all of you who have been a part of this Talcottian adventure and for sharing your time, your attention. I hope through the discussions today, you know, some things, maybe some reminders, maybe some perspectives regarding the clips we were sharing. Freedom is the essence of who we are. I mean, if we are made in the image of our Creator, if the Creator created us as creators for our future, to reveal the destiny that perhaps we're being led towards. If all those things could be true, wouldn't it feel good to feel good? To be at peace with where you are and who you are, knowing that there's a God and there are countless angels. There's multitudes of angels, as I've heard, as I choose to believe, that there are angels and ancestors. There are ascended masters of those who came before us, here to share the divinity, the wisdom, the love and light that only experience can bring. And so, brothers and sisters, embrace the wisdom that is within you. Find peace with who you are and set goals for yourself just to move forward, just to progress forward from who you were yesterday, what you'd become in the past. It can drag us down, or it can be a stepping stone towards unlimited potential. And brothers and sisters, I do feel good about where we are, who I am, and especially for all of you who have joined and share your support. It is Friday. Enjoy your evening, perhaps celebrate the night, and should God allow, perhaps we'll be back again tomorrow. Please do the subscribe thing, hit the notification, and stay tuned for the future. God bless. Thank you again, and live without fear.